The choice for a story for me was an easy
Simon,
one.
I'm an idiot. Start again.
Okay, what happened there?
No sound. We're
No
good.
sound. Okay,
Carry on.
that's fine. This part's scripted. I'm good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your storyteller for tonight, as we join Kate, Sean, and Alan with something new. Please do not use your channel points for the game effects, as they're not in effect, because tonight's one-shot has no dice and no system. If you've been watching Kate's channel recently, she's been delighting in Table Story's amazing story, Gone. I'm not attempting to recreate their success, but conversations we had regarding their production inspired me to run a game that was more along the lines of a radio play, or at least for me, the choose your own adventure stories that I delighted at as a child. Now, the choice for story for me was an easy one, as it's one story I've told many times and is due for somewhat of a final telling. So join us as we investigate for the last time the mystery of the Vaudeville Ghost. Welcome back, and welcome to our players. Before we introduce our characters, let's have a reminder, or in some cases, an introduction of who you all are. Kate, why don't you start?
Hi everyone, I'm Kate Madison. I have had a haircut, otherwise known as a wig. I'm Kate Madison. I usually play Cora on the Benefactor every Friday, and we're trying something new. No pressure. Yeah, you can find me as Actors at Work on Twitter. I forget to do the actual things. Yeah, you can find me. Oh, Kate Madison on Twitch. Blah blah blah. And
Mythica Entertainment as well.
And Mythica, yeah, I'm a lot of things, but nothing all at the same time.
Maybe I should have got you to prepare that. Never mind. Sean.
Hi. Wow, my heart's pounding. I'm Sean. You might have seen me play Walton on the Silent Wars one-shots over here. Very thankful for that. And tonight I'm going to do some ghosty fun in a tie I just found about 20 minutes ago. So that's nice.
Yep. Kate set a surprise for the boys at last minute by switching on her camera and telling everybody else she was cosplaying, and they were like, And finally, our guest, welcome Alan to Chaotic Neutral Games. Please introduce yourself.
Hello there, my name is Alan. I'm based in Cambridge, England, and Kate contacted me last night saying, I'm doing this tonight, so I'm doing this.
As with many of our one-shots, it was a case of, Kate, do you want to do a thing? Let's do it. Okay, fine. Yeah. And then we throw it together.
Yeah.
Preparation.
This is highly prepared, but it's improv, so it's not meant to be.
Yeah, and last-minute changes and technical issues are part of our brand. We've already said it's canon. So,
Indeed.
Thank you very much, everybody. So let's set the scene. You're all paranormal investigators who have started off doing it as a hobby, but this is your first paid gig. Ramsbourne Holdings want you to investigate the home of Bradley Weiss, an American who emigrated over to the village of Briars Morgan in Devon in the late 1920s, dying in his late 90s in 1997. The house was locked in a land dispute, and it was kept boarded up and untouched as an asset in state for the last 23 years. Recently, Ramsbourne won the property and has sent a local cleaning company to freshen the place up, but the cleaners refused to set foot in the house after claims of ghostly visions and poltergeist activity. Now, if you will, please introduce the characters that you'll be playing, and we'll go in the same order. Kate, who are you playing today?
The pressure. Okay, I am playing Clara Bennett. She is 35, and she works sort of doing admin and volunteer work and various things, but she's gotten a bit obsessed by the sort of paranormal over the last 5 or 6 years since her grandmother passed away, and she felt like she had some sort of experience when that happened. So she's been sort of doing some research. She still doesn't really know all that much. She's bought a lot of stuff and she's looked at a lot of things, but she doesn't really know exactly what she's doing, but she thinks she does, and she thinks that something has happened that's going to give her some extra, some link to the other side.
Okay, Sean.
Hello, I'm playing Todd Barber, also known to his YouTube community as Double H. He is he's a YouTube dude. He's got a big ghost investigation channel, and he's finally landed a legit job off the back of that. He's hoping these two things can marry each other, have a lot of good brand synergy going on. But I need to pay the bills because he's not making enough out of YouTube. It's a very niche market for him. He's also a Starbucks barista. So it's like making coffees all day, doing ghosts all night, partying when you need to sleep. It's a great life for Todd.
Okay, good stuff. And Alan.
I'm Angus Milton. I'm from Glasgow originally. I'm a 38-year-old mechanical engineer. I work on industrial sites as a safety inspector. I have engaged in a few online debates with Todd Barber in the past, so we've crossed paths at times, usually amicably. But I've been engaged by the legal entity to just to make sure that all this stuff and nonsense of ghostly sightings is properly investigated by someone with a level head.
Okay. So it sounds like we've got a believer, a person who pretends he's a believer, and a skeptic. We'll love it. First of all, as I say, there's no system, there's no character sheets. Basically, that was your character sheet. That was what you were. You've just written it down. So hope you remember that. I certainly was taking notes, maybe. What I would like to say is, would any of you have any particular pieces of equipment that you'd like to declare now? Obviously, things that are in theme for you to have, you have. But is anything interesting that you might have on you, Kate?
She has this little bear totem that that was her grandmother's, that she thinks has some sort of connection and kind of is there to keep her safe. That's something she has. I think she also has. Kate says, looking at Wikipedia, going, "What the hell do ghost hunters have?" Right? But like, I mean, I would have thought, because this is our first job right after doing a few things sort of amateur-y together. Am I correct in thinking this? So I feel like as a group we would have some of the equipment that we need. I'm trying to think what I would have in comparison to. I feel like Todd as a YouTuber might have things like night vision or thermographic camera or something, right? So I don't think a camera is something that she'd have. I can't remember. I don't know if this is it, but I saw a ghost thing where they had some sort of almost antennae that made a sort of like beep when it got close, or something got close. I think maybe she'd have something like that. A way to know if someone's
close. The antenna that you're talking about is it's basically, well, there's a couple of them, but this one measures, the one that you see more often than not is the one that measures flux. Okay, which means that everything sets
EMF,
it off.
Right? Is that the EMF thing?
Yeah, that's an EMF. Yeah, everything sets it off.
Yeah.
Static issues, mobile phones, dodgy wiring, someone blowing their nose too hard. All those things will set this damn thing off, which is why ghost hunters love it, because it makes an otherwise boring night into something useful. But yes, you may have it.
I can have one of those.
I'm a scientist. This type of thing grates on me.
Yeah, you're not allowed. You got to throw that aside, because I don't. Yeah. Anyway, but I think that I see the other cool things I've seen is this camera that puts little stick figures into things. I don't really understand it at all. But I don't know whether we have one of those in amongst the group.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even know really what it's doing.
There's a thermal imaging camera, and what it will do is it will look for anything vaguely humanoid and start to put a frame around it.
Yeah.
Once again, it's a program that's deliberately finding things, whether they're there or not.
Of course.
So anything vaguely humanoid shape, it will start to put a stick figure in, because
just like our own brains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yes, it's programmed paranoia. Yeah.
So something like that. I think it might be even be. I think you can get an app that does sort of heat
Oh, yeah.
signatures. She's probably got one of those. She only
Sure.
has a fancy phone for the app.
Right.
Before that, she had
Okay.
a brick, and now she's like, oh, fancy phone, but it does this. Like,
So you've bought into the hobby, like, and then some. Yeah.
I think because she was quite close to her grandmother, and there's a part of her that wants to, wants to be close to her still.
Yeah.
Wants to know that
Okay.
she's close to her. Yeah.
Sure, you've got to drive for you bought a lot of crap, but it's crap for a sentimental reason.
Hey, you're not allowed to diss this. This is your ghost story, dude.
Yeah, I guess which side of the coin I personally land on. So Todd, what kind of things would he have on him?
So investigation-wise, yeah, like Clara said, he's definitely got thermal imaging cameras and night vision stuff. Any kind of fancy camera or like lens, he's probably bought. Wouldn't have brought
Sure.
everything with him. There's definitely like a field kit, and I'm
Yeah.
certainly going to annoy you with my lack of scientific knowledge tonight. But yeah,
That's fine.
definitely. Like if there's something that could help and could possibly detect whatever we're looking for, then he would definitely have it. Personal items, he's got a little gold sovereign ring with a St. Christopher medallion on a little gold chain around his neck. He's got a prescription bottle with 4 painkillers left. He was down to his last 4. They're quite strong. But beyond that, it's mostly just, I think he's positioning himself as the tech guy tonight.
Sure.
Trying to make sure that, we've got having the proof is very important to Todd. It's like it's one thing wanting to believe, but you need to have this thing to show other people that this happened.
Yeah. I mean, you're a content creator and you're trying to create content. So yeah. I absolutely get it. So Alan, anything that you might have on you, sir? You're muted, by the way.
Hello. Better now?
Yep.
Excellent. His day job is a safety inspector at industrial sites, and he's used to having a tool belt with him. So he'll have screwdrivers, a hammer, maybe a little saw, an electric drill, multimeter, that kind of thing.
Sure.
He's just assuming nothing's going to go down. He knows that this is all bullshit, and so he's come with a very practical head. He's perhaps a bit naive, so he hasn't brought anything beyond what would normally be the situation in going to a rickety old house.
Yep.
But he is wearing steel toe cap boots, rugged trousers jacket, as you would if you were on a building site, and a backpack with whatever whatever he would need to. I mean, we're spending the night, right? So that's that kind of thing. He's expecting
Absolutely.
a quiet evening. Yep.
Good stuff. And yeah, some of this will be like on your person. Some of it will be accessible because you've got it in the boot of the car or something. So it's nearby.
He's got a smartphone with him. He's intending to make some voice notes, take some photographs and short videos, but nothing specialist.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Again, you're not expecting it to be.
Yeah.
Whereas the others are going all that. Okay. Fantastic. So with that done, let's start. As you pull up to the property, you can see that Briars Morgan is a place far removed from the progression of time. The postbox proudly displaying GR for King George is the same red as the bright and well-kept telephone box. Only when you take a moment do you notice satellite dishes and cars breaking the effect and bringing you back into this decade. The corner shop and the pub are the only amenities here and are currently open. It's part of your contract to stay in the house overnight, but you may journey outside to speak to the village as part of your investigation. There are about 30 households in total. Players, what would you like to do?
Right.
Right then, so we basically need to get into that house and spend the night. So I suggest we go with it.
Well, I've got the key. They gave us the key.
Got a lot of stuff to unload out of the car. I'd really like to set up as quickly as I can. No offense, I just want to get going.
Okay. All right.
Do we have? Does anybody recall what the specific? I had only a vague note of ghostly visions. I mean, that should be easy enough to deal with.
I mean, the cleaners wouldn't come in, so yeah, I guess there's something.
I
going
suggest
on.
we get in there, get some empirical data down then.
Okay, I'll go open the door if you want to get the stuff out of the car.
I know
Thanks,
what it is.
Clara.
I'll give you a hand with that. you pop the boot open for me?
Yeah, sure. I easily grab the keys out and open the boot on my Volkswagen Golf. Not matte, glossy black. This is just full of equipment at this point. Lots of brown boxes zipped up with straps. It's very bulky but very light. There's not a lot of heavy stuff in here. But it's going to take us one trip.
Good God, man! How much stuff do you need for an overnight stay?
It's not just about what I need for my overnight stay. It's about what we need to do the job. If someone's going to come at me and it's on a different heat range, I'm going to need to have the right camera to get that.
Aye, well, okay, just load me up.
Yeah, sure. I grab a couple of the lighter bags and give them over. Keep the heavy ones for myself. And, boom, with the boot down, lock it up. Hit the alarm real quick, beep, beep.
Okay.
Door's a bit stiff. Oh, carry on.
No, go ahead.
Anybody a bit stronger than me? I don't think this door's been opened in a while.
Aye, all right. So I put all the stuff back down again, and I go to the door, and I try to pull the door open.
Sure. The door is slightly warped in the doorway. It needs to be shimmed off on one side, something that Alan would certainly notice. And Clara wasn't being a wuss about this. It did require a bit.
Right. Well, hang on a minute, and I'll just. I've got a screwdriver in here somewhere. Right. I'll just get that and get a bit of leverage. You need to get this properly serviced, man.
I've probably got a tire iron or something if you want. Oh, okay, never mind.
I think I got it.
Yep. The door pops open.
That's going to need some proper mechanical attention, that is, though.
Well, it's not been opened in years.
The corridor in front of you seems to go through the whole of the ground floor of the house. To the right of the corridor is the stairs going to the upper floor, and you can see to your right is a door to the study. To your left is a door to the dining room. You know that in front of you are 3 doors that lead to the kitchen, utility room, and conservatory/living room. You've been given a map of the layout of this property in advance. You also know that underneath the stairs itself, there's a second set of stairs in a little cubbyhole that goes down to the basement.
Should we set up in the dining room?
Well, that's where the cleaners were complaining, weren't they? So we might as well start there.
Great.
Yeah.
I start unloading all of the bags and unzipping cameras. Everything looks incredibly new and expensive as I start trying to find places to put things and set up. There's a table nearby that I've started to just take for my own. There's a little portable investigation tech station kind of area.
Well, you go for your life. Let me know if you need a hand, eh?
I'm good, thanks.
Be a bit careful of that.
Sorry, which room did you say it was? In the dining room. Sure. Okay.
You want to be a bit careful of that electricity. We don't know exactly how good this wiring is.
I've got a lot of batteries in here. Everything's charged up. I'm going for the gills on this. I'm ready for any kind of redundancy.
No problem then.
Alan, you can see that. Alan, you can see that. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying Alan. Angus. You can see that in a pile to one side in the main corridor, there are a lot of braided cables that have been removed from the house. Old braided electrical cables were known for overheating, and they seem to be removed already. Apparently, they were anticipating arrival.
Okay.
Todd, you have set up in the dining room. The dining room is quite beautiful. It's fairly narrow, but accommodates for all of your equipment a large 8-seat dining table and a minibar. On the walls, there are celebrities of the pictures of old celebrities and show posters. One signed picture of Charlie Chaplin reads, "From your number one fan," and is signed. And another from Mae West saying, "Keep loving strong darlings" on it. The posters appear to be for old music halls and theatres in America.
I start admiring some of these posters as I'm mid-setup, and I get to the Chaplin one in particular, and that's probably the only figure I recognize, as Charlie Chaplin's so famous. I'm like, hey guys, have you seen this? That The guy from the pictures with no words in him, the silent films, and the mustache.
Oh, aye.
Chaplin.
That's quite impressive. That is, aye. I like
gotta
this
be worth
film.
a lot. I'm not saying we should take it. I'm just saying that's probably worth a lot.
No, that's a good point. That probably means that no one's been in to loot the place.
Yes.
No, it's quite fascinating.
You know, it would probably be quite. Those would be quite expensive.
I mean, any burglar worth their salt would have taken that, so I guess we could be fairly sure it's been relatively untouched.
That's pretty good. I mean, safe and just good, like good deco.
Kate, you're muted.
Shit. We probably shouldn't touch
Less of
too
that
much.
kind of language.
We probably shouldn't touch too much anyway, because you're going to affect. If the spirits are here, we don't want to get rid of. We're trying to find out where they are and stuff, and we don't want to disturb the atmosphere.
Well, maybe we do. Like, if we get them all riled up, maybe they're more likely to make an appearance.
Well, no. Let's get the equipment working first, and because we might scare them away, and then we're only here for tonight. We don't want to. I know what you mean, but let's wait.
All right.
Set up the equipment first.
I'm sorry. All right. Cool. I take my iPhone out real quick and take a quick snap of the Chaplin poster.
Yeah.
Probably going to gram that later. As I
I'll
go back to my desk and continue setting up.
Okay.
I'm just off back to the hall just to take photographic evidence of everything we've as we found it, and I'll get back to you soon.
Okay. At this point, Alan, Angus, you can see you do see the doorway going down into the basement. It's quite short. Anybody of any decent size will have to squeeze in, but that doesn't look like it's been opened yet. And the things that are left in the main hallway is what you would expect during house renovation. Builders and various other fitters coming in, and there's a collection of light switches and, as I say, braided cables and old fuses. A few old pieces of white goods as well that have been had a pat testing failure sticker slapped on there.
Dated when?
The pat testing sticker is for 2 days ago, so they very recently came in and went through everything for safety's sake.
I'm going to check the light switches, see if they do anything.
Yep, the light switches work. In this,
Excellent.
in this corridor, at least. Yeah.
Well, switch the lights on, and I guess I'm wandering around here and probably off into the other room as well, just starting to take photographs of what the place is like when we find it.
Okay. Which room would you like to go to?
Presume the study.
The study. Sure. When you open the study, it's quite beautiful, actually. The study seems to have been preserved with sheets and packs of silica gel, which have recently been removed, and they've all been packed into one corner. This space immediately hits you as a space that was frequently used by the previous occupant. It has a formal oak desk on one side of the room with pieces of notepaper and things like that clearly they've just thrown a sheet straight over it and it's been taken off again, so they're all in place. And a fireplace with a leather armchair as well. The rest of the room is flanked in wall-to-ceiling bookshelves containing an eclectic variety of books.
I'm just taking photographs of everything as it is, untouched.
Absolutely.
And once I'm done, I'll get back to the dining room and do the same there.
Sure. Okay. You have taken pictures of the study and the dining room.
And the hall.
And the hall, sorry, yes.
Clara is desperately trying to remember how to use this new fangled phone and find the app that she downloaded. Basically.
Do you need a hand, Clara?
I just
Jinx.
I'm just trying to. I got an app app for the phone that does stuff. Like which should help. But just trying to. How do I see my apps? How do I know
Oh,
where the
that's
apps
an
are?
iPhone. I don't know anything about iPhones. Sorry.
Which iPhone you got? Is it one of the new ones? Does it have a button on it?
I don't know.
I take it very briefly. I presume it's probably like a fairly not recent iPhone. So I'm gonna navigate you back to the home screen real quick.
Yeah, she probably got it secondhand.
Yeah. What's the app called?
I don't know, but I don't have many apps. It's just it's a ghost hunting one. It's meant to.
I'm gonna go for the
heat
one.
vision. It might be called a heat ghost heat, or I don't know.
Okay.
You've got a thermal camera in that phone.
Well,
You can get.
it's an app. You could get. It's meant to.
I
Well,
think
we
you're
tried
supposed
it-
to have an extra camera on there as well. You know.
I've got one if you want it. I'd like to use it. I load up the app that's at the very far right of all of these collections of apps, which is probably the most recently installed one, and hand it back, and they start
Logic.
looking for you.
Ah. Okay.
How do I look? Am I orange?
It's showing you
Good,
as
then it's
orange.
as long as I'm not blue, we're all good.
Yep.
I'll try and find that lens when I've just finished setting up. I've got a bit more to do.
Yeah. Do you need a hand? I can help. I can help.
Oh, it's all right. Maybe you can have a look around and take pictures and stuff. Use your camera, try and find any kind of weird thermal ghosts, right?
Yeah. That's why we're here, I guess.
Yeah.
She starts
When looking
wandering
at this,
around.
you notice
pointing.
that it is 9:32 at night currently. We are working in real time for this.
She wanders off into another room.
All right, yeah. Okay, I think I've got everything set up, connected. I kind of wish we had more power here, Angus, but
Well,
pretty
I
sure
don't
we
think we can put too much strain on this old thing. So I think best is just rely on your batteries. Eh?
yeah. I mean, like I said, I tried to do plenty of them so we wouldn't have to worry about anything going dead, unless we're asleep at the time. But I did the best I could what I had in the limited time available.
Well, it's quite an impressive little arrangement there. Have you had much success in the past? I mean, I've seen your videos, obviously, but it's always a bit inconclusive, is it? No.
I'm doing my best with what's out there. Sometimes I'm probably real close. I've just got to try a few more. Like I've only got to find one once, and everything's all done and real nice.
Well, best of luck to you then.
Have you ever seen anything?
No, I have not.
You must have been at this a long time.
Well, I've certainly had my share of old abandoned buildings and mysterious sounds and creaks in the night, but there's always a perfectly rational explanation if you just know where to look.
Oh man, I really hope you're wrong at least once.
Well, that's why we're both here, I guess.
Anyway, I should probably start shooting some B-roll before it gets too dark, or else I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow and get all this again. And I wander over towards the desk and pull out a Canon camera with a big fat lens on as I take off the cover. I'm just gonna go outside, get some pictures, get some video. Give me a holler if you need anything, alright?
Will do.
Coolio. Head out the front door.
Todd, as you walk away from the table, you do notice that you have accidentally left on one of your pieces of kit. This is very unlike you.
Oh. Yeah, I presumably see the power light, and at this point, that's I must just be absent-minded today. Opening night jitters and all that. I gotta get ready for the show. Anywho, knock it back off real quick.
You don't
Stand
want that
there
battery
for a
to go,
moment,
do you?
really just considering it. Pardon? Oh no, I feel like I would never do that. So this is just weird, but I must have just knocked it when I was setting everything up, is my rationale. So, okay, I'll just be more careful. Head on out, and I'll get to it later. I'm sure it's fine right now.
not getting anything.
So, Kate, what are you doing?
I'm coming back in as he's leaving, having gone around the main. I can't quite remember the layout, but the main rooms, just with the phone out, just scanned around, looking for stuff.
So you go into the same study that Angus previously walked into,
Yeah,
and get the same description as him. The main living space is actually a conservatory and living room that's been knocked through. Large living area of the house has been knocked through to the conservatory to create a vast open plan design. Plants and new soft furnishings have clearly been added recently, but the beautiful wooden furniture and leather sofas appear to be part of Mr. Weiss's original possessions. The one thing that's out of place is a blackboard, which has been tucked into one corner.
does the blackboard have anything written on it?
It seems to have been dusted off, but as with all blackboards, there seems to be a plethora of markings on it.
Yeah, I'm going to go over, intrigued as to why it's been sort of put aside, but still clearly has some stuff on it. And you said this looks old, like it possibly belonged to the gentleman from back in the 20s.
Yeah, it's definitely got an old type of frame, old wooden frame, beautiful workmanship. You take a look at the little brass plaque on the side, about the size of a postage stamp, denoting where it was made, and the brass plaque alone tells you that it's from the 20s, or at least the kind of 30s, 40s. And yeah, it's a blackboard. When you look on the other side of it, it's a green board, and it's got a grid on the other side, so it seems to be a technical blackboard. And as with all blackboards, even though it's been dusted off, you can see old markings on there that seem to be of kind of technical engineering in nature. There's figures, there's arrows, and there's parts. Seem to be kind of, one looks like a cog or a pulley. You're not quite sure. You're not that well versed at this stuff.
Angus, Angus, you do engineer stuff.
What is it?
Well, I don't know. It's just a blackboard with some stuff on it. I'm curious. It looks like it's from the gentleman who lived here. It's Bradley's.
Sure, let's have a look.
What was he making? Here, I'm going to try and gently just pull it out from its sort of cubby hole without sort of brushing anything, just sort of so that we can see it a little better.
Yep. Half obscured by a curtain. Clara pulls this out, and Angus, immediately you can see that this is a technical blackboard, an old one, but a technical blackboard. And you can see a few of the things that were previously written on there dusted off, but obviously not so much that it's completely removed the markings yet. One of them seems to be a schematics for a crane, and they're talking about loads and forces and needing to shore it up. The other one seems to be some sort of sewerage system on the other side, and apparently either Bradley or whoever else used this blackboard before you was also somewhat of a mechanical engineer.
Well, there's a few little equations there, and a couple of sketches that look a bit like some form of lifting device and some drainage system.
Huh?
Whoever was here certainly knew what they were talking about. So it's quite advanced for 1920s, I tell you that. I'll definitely take a few photographs of this. Takes a few more stills and just documents this room.
Just to remind you, you know that Bradley Weiss died in 1997, so it could be could be from the 90s.
Sorry. Of course, I'm totally getting confused, thinking that the house has been boarded up since the 20s, but it hasn't. Nope. It's been boarded up since the 90s.
1997. Yeah.
Sorry. I remember
so
now.
What sort of vintage then with the technology that I did recognise date from?
Yeah, it looks like stuff that you'd get from the 90s. The crane seems to be it seems to be a small but very powerful crane. I think probably would be loaded onto a ship by the looks of it. Just the way it tucks into itself, tucks very narrowly upwards, whereas anything that would be on a road vehicle, for example, would tuck down horizontally. The sewerage system seems to be for, you're guessing by what you can see, that it's not meant for the UK. Maybe this is for maybe some sort of third world country, maybe, because a lot of the parts that they have listed down the left-hand side seem to be for simple parts that can be repaired in situ with basic materials.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, it looks like whatever they were doing was for some other place. No, here that is not British standards. That is, I don't quite recognise where it's for, but somewhere overseas certainly.
He was American, wasn't he?
It seems
So-
I'm familiar with American standards as well. This is somewhere a bit further afield.
Oh. It doesn't mean anything to me.
No worries.
Oh, there's me saying not to move anything, and then I moved something. I'm gonna try and move it back before Todd gets back. You took a picture, right?
I've got a picture of everything. Yes.
Okay.
Now, do you remember where specifically what these cleaners were complaining about?
So, I think so. As you say, it was something in the dining room, and she's gonna wander back into the dining room as she's kind of talking.
Aye.
So I think they were in the dining room, and I think one of them reckoned that something they had cleaned fell off a sideboard.
That was
without them there.
That was Mavis, was it no?
Yeah. Yes.
You said
Mavis was one.
You said you had her
stuff
number.
down.
Perhaps I could give her a quick call, just check to see specifically
Yes,
what.
I wrote it down. Mavis, yes, here.
Aye. Okay. Thanks very much. I'll just give her a quick call just to see what she's got to say for herself.
Because
I didn't make much sense of what she'd what the official report. It was all a bit.
Yeah, I don't
manic.
really remember what they said. They didn't. They were a bit vague. But yeah, let's ask. her.
Right. All right. I'll see if she happens to be in.
The phone rings for a few minutes. For a few rings. Hello?
Hello there. Am I speaking to Mavis? Mavis Trescothick?
Yes, speaking.
Well, perhaps she can help me out. I'm at that old house that you were cleaning the other day and had a bit of trouble.
Oh,
here
the
to
Wise
try and-
House. Yes.
Aye. We're just here doing a little bit of checking the place out, make sure it's properly safe and everything. So, I didn't have a note of specifically what it is you experienced. Could you just summarise in your own words for me?
Oh, it wasn't just me. It was the other girls they brought in as well, because I can't do the whole house myself. You understand?
I understand, but you're specifically in the dining room. I understand, well, you not?
Yes, that's right. So I was doing the house back before Mr. Weiss died. God bless his soul. And so I was there mostly overseeing. And I was in the living room. We was using that as a kind of office. And the girls were going out and doing the various rooms, just dusting down and whatnot. We was told not to change much other than that which Ramsbourne gave us. And yeah, I was looking at the crystal, you see, in the minibar. And
the crystal in the minibar.
Yeah. So I was looking at the crystal in the minibar, and I was just thinking, it might be expensive, so I didn't want the younger girls going for it, because I know what they're like these days. They would dock their wages if they broke such things. So I was checking out a particularly lovely sherry decanter, you see, and I was checking one of the glasses with the sherry decanter.
This was just checking. This is the living room, you see, aye?
No, dining room.
Dining room.
Dining room.
Thank you.
Sorry, dining room. And
she said living room. Okay, confused.
And I was picking that up, and I was picking up the one of the glasses to see how much of a challenge they would be for cleaning. And as I was looking at them, one of the other glasses, not the one I was holding, but one of the other glasses, just suddenly flew straight at the wall. Straight at the wall. It scared me to death. It did. And I even though the sherry decanter was stoppered at the time, I dropped it, and there's sherry all over the floor. We've cleaned it up, and but unfortunately the decanter broke, which means I probably am gonna have to offer a bit of money. But
so there's no decanter or glasses remaining.
Oh yes, the glass didn't break. Well, the one against the wall broke, but the one I was holding did not break. So I put that back. But yeah, I'm afraid you've only got the whiskey, the port, and the others now. I'm afraid the sherry's all gone.
That's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. So there's one glass remaining, and the other girls, it was similar kind of things, was it? Just
yeah. So let's see what they got. Well, one of them was saying that they were in his office, and as they were taking the sheets off, and apparently some of the notes on his desk just went whoosh like confetti, and just they flew all about her, and one of them
as they were taking the sheet off
against her face, like somebody pressing it against her face.
I see. And was there anything else?
Yeah. So 3 of the girls said they saw a figure just momentarily, end of the shift, momentarily walking down the corridors, and one of them heard footsteps going up the stairs, but it was nobody on the stairs because there's only one stairs and it's straight and you can see everything. I mean, there's stairs down into the basement, but no one's been down there. It's too dark and it's not safe.
Which corridor was this?
It's the stairs going from the ground floor to the upper floor, and they were walking up oh, you mean the visitations? That was in the top. That was in the upper.
The upper floor. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's very helpful. Thank you very much, Mavis. I wonder. I mean, we're going to be here for a few hours yet. If we need to call you again, even if it's a bit late, would that be okay?
Yeah. I tend to go to bed around 11,
well, we won't call you again unless it's important. But if you might get a call a bit later on, if we did need to check up on something, I hope that's okay with you.
Of course, after 11 I might be asleep because I tend to have a little nightcap, and after that I might not be. You got
your own little spot of sherry there, right?
Oh well, for medicinal purposes, the joints and things. It keeps you healthy.
I don't disapprove. You take care then, Mavis, and we'll try and give you a nice, relaxing evening, unless we need more information.
Oh, thank you. Cheerio, bye.
Cheerio.
And for you, Angus, when she said 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock is 10:15 real time. So after 10:15 real time, Mavis will be drunk and asleep.
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I
took a lot of notes. So, yeah, I heard that. Thanks.
That's good. Well, I'm going to go back into that study and check out these pieces of paper that she was talking about.
Oh, in the office.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll come with you.
Fair enough.
I'm curious. Well, no, I'll come with you. Something presses your face, you let me know.
What's keeping Todd, I wonder?
Yeah, what was he out? Where did he go?
He said he was going to take some video footage where the light was still good outside, but that was a good
videotape.
A good 5 minutes ago.
Should we go look? I don't know. I mean, I thought about getting a camera at one point, and then I saw Todd on that last thing we tried to do, and he filmed for ages, didn't he? Filmed so much, and then he showed the video he made, and it was really short. It was like 2 minutes. He filmed. Filmed so much.
None of Todd's footage has been particularly, shall we say, Oscar worthy so far. I don't see why today should be any exception. Anyway, let's check out this study.
Okay, so office papers went flying, and someone had something pushed on their face. I didn't quite get what she said there. Did she say paper was pushed on someone's face?
Well, she said that when she removed the cloth on top of the table that had paper on it, some of the paper got caught up in the breeze. Well, there's a surprise, eh? So she's had some kind of third second-hand notion of one of the papers being pressed up against her face, but.
She said she wasn't the only one who saw it. She was saying the other girls were hearing stuff too. It's not just one old lady.
That's right, but the only one person observed this particular effect, and I don't believe Mavis said any of the girls were able to corroborate any of the other stories. Let's just have a look, see what these papers say.
Sure. Give a little eye roll as you walk, as I walk out behind him.
Sure. Did you want to go to the study straight away, or do you want to cut to Todd for a sec?
You can cut to Todd.
That's your call.
Yes, you're cool.
In that case, we will cut to Todd.
Just finishing up, taking far too much footage, way more than I ever need. A few crazy angles for a potential edit, but everything has mostly been taken care of to my personal preferences. I'm ready to head back inside as I start moving up the path through the door, probably having just missed Clara and Angus, and heading back towards my makeshift desk at this point, where I set my camera down and notice there's something that's been touched or moved, and I'm annoyed for a second and assume that it's one of my colleagues instead of what we're here to find. But I kind of chastise myself internally as I'm like, dang it. I would have known for sure if I just set something up by now instead of just walking out. I was so dumb.
You notice that this large building, looking around the outside, is made for generations. Literally for 2 generations at any one point, living in the same house. And it's got a lot of storage where people don't throw away anything. They keep resources, reuse things. You can see that the huge trapezoid roof on top of this house was clearly at some point a large space where maybe even a servant would have been up there. Not in the 20s certainly, but before that, this house was well established even then. And this thing is made for life. There's no moving out of this house. And you kind of realize that even back then, as you're taking in the view and taking in the beautiful landscaped garden that's been re-landscaped now, mostly restored to what it was before, what people imagined it was before, that Mr. Weiss clearly was a man of means. He had money, even when he came here. And as you step back into the house, you're kind of looking at all the beautiful woodwork and things, taking various angles where you're shooting the video, and there's like a beam from the deck that is kind of partially obscuring the view. All these weird angles that that your viewer base lap up, and you've got a general feel walking around the garden that this guy came here and lived in the lap of luxury, but the house was far bigger than he needed for a single night.
Guess this guy must have been loaded or something. I start turning on my computers, getting everything up and running to make sure that nothing else gets missed now. And a lot of this stuff can just be left to idle and record while I'm about doing other things. But I will generally have a camera with me from this point on.
Okay.
This is... I hope I can afford somewhere nice like this when I've really hit it big, because... I mean, if this place is, dare I say, not haunted, maybe I could just buy this place someday. I would have to do it up, but... I start idling towards the kitchen, as part of me is thinking of food, and part of me is just kind of curious to continue exploring the space.
Okay. As you're walking towards the kitchen, there is, you can hear a clock tolling, nothing out of the ordinary there. And I'm going to switch back to Clara and Angus.
what I keep doing with my
You
week.
step into the study, and it is as I described before. I believe you have a direction that you already want to go in. Please go ahead. You're muted, Alan. Alan and Angus.
Alan's my middle name. Don't worry. This is the paper she was talking about.
Are they strewn all over the floor still, or are they been tidied up, or how does the study look?
They've been stacked together. What seem to be scrap papers would probably be post-it notes these days, but the scrap papers have kind of been stacked together and put in the middle of the desk where normally one would write. And you're a bit of an old soul, Clara, so you know that anybody who would keep a desk like this would not put the papers in the middle of the desk. They'd be off to one side. Your grandmother did the same. And the little stack of papers has clearly just been gathered up from the floor and stacked neatly in the middle of the desk.
So I'll pick up the stack and start looking at them and passing the paper to Carla as well.
Okay.
What do they say?
Many of the pieces of paper have mundane items on them, reminders to get milk, bread, to complain to a neighbor about their cat. There's various other bits as well where there are telephone numbers for certain companies, and you know that some of them are utility companies and some very old ones, but you recognize the names, and some of them are thankfully written out in full and appear to be engineering companies and contracting companies. They're written in what seems to be slightly shaky hand, but otherwise in a copperplate handwriting. So this person has clearly been very good in terms of penmanship, but you remember that he died in his 90s, and so towards the end of his life must have been slightly arthritic. The one thing that does stand out is one non sequitur piece of paper that just writes, just says the words, "Midnight, why midnight?"
And does this one look particularly crumpled in any way?
No.
None of them are crumpled.
They're all a little bit crumpled. None have been screwed up into a ball, but they all have the same misuse, as in maybe these are scraps of paper of things that have been previous paper that was discarded and then reused.
But none of them look like they've been particularly pressed against someone's face, which would probably give it slightly more of a noticeable.
Hard to tell. I mean, when you press a piece of paper against the face, it doesn't get that buckled. So,
so that's as I expected.
Yeah. You do notice that one of them has a piece of blue tack on it, only a tiny bit left, not even a full blob. That could maybe have stuck to her face. I'm not sure.
Quite probably, yeah. Very probably, in fact.
Anything interesting?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, carry on. Carla, what was it? You spotted something?
No, I haven't spotted much at all. Have you?
Aside from this one, midnight. Why midnight? Could mean anything.
And at that point, the clock strikes 12.
Someone's not set that clock properly.
I look at my watch. What time is
it? It's currently a minute to 10.
That's a good sign that no one's been looking after this place. It's obviously been wound, probably with the cleaners, but it's no one's reset it. It's obviously.
That was so weird though. You literally read midnight, why midnight, and then the clock went midnight.
Yes. Well,
that feels significant, and she's gonna just write it down.
Well, let me try it again for you, shall I? Midnight, why midnight?
It won't. No. It won't. We can't pretend that it's gonna happen every time you say it. You just.
Oh,
it was like it was
convenient.
giving us a clue. It was like someone. Oh, I should get my app. Oh, God, how do you unlock this? And she holds it up around the clock to see if she can see anything.
Putting the pieces of paper back in a pile.
Clock just looks normal.
Oh,
Is that the
need to
clock
be
that-
quicker.
is
I
that the
need to.
clock that chimed?
Yeah, this is a carriage clock that's over the mantelpiece.
Oh. And it's now saying 1 minute past midnight.
In the office. Yeah, this
Sorry, I
is
had
in
to
the
check
office.
the clock and go. Yeah, it's now showing a minute past midnight, when actually it's a minute past 10.
Well,
I'm so confused.
mystery solved.
It's not actually. It's 15:09. Am I getting confused by real time, game time?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes. Okay. So
this is in real time, but we started at 15:15. It was supposed to be that you started at 8, but it was actually 9 in game. We started quarter of an hour late, so it's so I've moved the time on.
That's
so
fine.
Now,
okay.
Yeah.
So
quarter past 9 is 10 o'clock.
In the story, it's 1 minute past 10.
It is now 1 minute.
Currently.
Oh, well.
I'm gonna go look at the clock a bit more, just closer. I don't want to touch it because it might have been set like this for a reason. She doesn't want to necessarily set it to the right time, but she's curious
I'll leave you to it.
In
and I'll
case
leave the
it's
room.
Okay.
okay.
The clock in front of you, Kate, is a carriage clock. Slightly blackened on the base with a nice shiny dial that seems to be made with a beautiful kind of slightly iridescent mother of pearl inlay. And you see that the clock itself has been sculpted in a bull shape with a feminine figure in front of it. You know this from the classical interaction between Zeus and Europa, and again, your grandmother would know such thing. And it's made by a French clockmaker. And once again, you're kind of looking at it, saying, "Yeah, this is probably going to fetch quite a lot of money if they sell this." And you're kind of thinking with the black metal that's on top of it, that could be very heavily oxidized bronze. It's currently showing the time that we've said, which is 2 minutes past midnight, but it is 2 minutes past 10.
I kind of reach as if I really want to touch it, and then kind of resist, and head back to find the others and figure out our plan of action once Todd gets back.
You do notice that the clock lens, which is a little door that goes in front of the clock face, is not open, but it is very slightly ajar, tiny bit ajar. If you were to press it with your finger, it would snap shut with a tiny little ball and dimple that is on the side of the clock.
She again is tempted, but thinks that if she touches it, something might happen, and they should be ready with cameras and stuff just in case. So she's going to resist and walk away for now. Just kind of, but almost like looking at the room as she walks to the door. She kind of looks back, just in case a paper is flying or something like that. She's just
okay. Fine. Who's
didn't
next?
take your bait yet.
Yeah. Just finishing up, getting some thermal imaging shots of the kitchen as I'm wandering around. And
I haven't given you the kitchen yet. The kitchen has an old farmhouse aesthetic. You can see the builders have recently been in and updated the electrical goods within. A series of staples has been provided for you in the fridge, and some basics for cooking as well, along with the numbers of a local food delivery service with a post-it note from Ramsbourne Holdings telling you that they will foot the bill for a meal.
I'm rifling through these as soon as I've finished taking shots, and I'm like, "Yo, guys, free food! We can get some free food."
You're in here. I thought you were outside taking photographs.
Oh no, I was done with that a long time ago, Angus. I'm all about taking the inside shots now. We can get some free takeout. Who wants pizza? In addition to me.
That doesn't seem like that's what we should be doing. We should be working.
We can work and eat.
Yeah, we gotta work on a full stomach.
Fine.
I came. All right.
We
I'll
get
stop arguing.
Hawaiian.
Yeah. I mean, if they're paying, we can get whatever we want, right?
Something meaty and spicy for me, if you don't mind.
Yo, let's go. Let's have a pizza each.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna get 2 meat feasts and a Hawaiian, and we'll sort that out quick. You know what? I'll just use the app because I'm not gonna talk to a person.
Yeah.
Sure. Whilst he's doing that, I'm having a quick look around the kitchen, taking photographs as I want to do. But it wasn't. Yeah. Once I'm done that, though, I'm just going to leave the room.
Sure. You can see that a lot of the things that you found in the corridor came from the kitchen. All the braided cables are gone. They've changed the sockets from the old plugs to the new plugs. There's a new kettle in there. There's tea, coffee, bickies, all of the usual UK supplies needed for any form of function. And there's milk in the fridge.
I'm going to pop the kettle on. And
Sure.
whilst it's boiling, I'm going to head to the stairs and go up to the top floor.
Okay. Angus, as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you do hear a smashing sound. And Todd, behind you, you can see that a mug has fallen off the kitchen table, the tabletop in the kitchen, and is smashed on the floor.
Oh, sorry about that. Must have caught on the way past.
Carlito is making our pizzas right now.
Excellent.
Just FYI. I guess I'll get a brush and thingy. We gotta be more careful. Like, I'm already making mistakes, you're making mistakes. We gotta be on our A game for this. This could be the day.
Yeah, yes.
What just
well,
broke?
I'll go and I dropped a mug. Sorry about that. I'll pick up the bits.
No, we'll just say the cleaners did it. It was one of their things.
I thought. Are you?
Anyway, I'll.
Oh yeah, what have you been finding? Like, pizza's on the way, FYI.
Good call. Well, I had a brief conversation with the cleaner. The cleaner that raised the initial complaint. So she said that there was an issue with glasses falling off a shelf in the dining room, and there was some confusion over papers flying in the air when they took a cloth off a table. We just had a quick look at that. And they said they could hear steps on the staircase and occasionally some visions in the hallway upstairs. I was just going to have a quick check that one out.
Again, before you go up there, we should get the cameras and go up there. Because again, I don't think you should chase it away. If you don't scare off the spirits.
There's nothing to chase away.
We're here because there's something. That's exactly why we're here. We're investigating the ghost activity.
We're here to
I know you don't completely believe it, but that is why you're here.
Yeah, we're here. We're all here for very specific reasons. And I'm here.
Let's not have this argument again, yo.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't
we'll
mean
check.
to. I'm just.
No, it's cool. We're all excited and stuff's going on, and the cleaner's stories were kind of jank with like cups falling off stuff and papers getting moved when they get affected by the wind. Yeah, and creaky stairs.
We should listen. We should set a record. Oh, do you have a recorder to record the stairs?
You know it.
Well, we should probably set that up.
It's a great idea, Clara. I will get on that right smart. But is that everything that they told you and you found out? Like, I was out there for a while.
Let's say there was the cup. No, the glass, wasn't it? Not in the living room.
Yeah, she was looking at the decanter, sherry decanter, and a glass that she wasn't holding was thrown against the wall.
Well, fell off a shelf. Let's be.
She said it was thrown against a wall.
I hate to judge already, but had this person had any of that sherry?
Of course we don't know that.
Yeah.
She's an old lady.
I'm just saying, we've got to look at all the sides, because if we don't do it exactly right, no one's going to believe us.
That's just unusually refreshing from you, Todd.
I mean, I just don't want to have another argument with you, Angus. So I just want to keep it on the level. And like I said, I'm looking for evidence.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. That's.
But I mean, I really believe. Like this is. I'm just waiting for the day.
Then
we need to get
evidence won't hurt your case.
set up so that we don't miss anything. So that no more cups get broken by us, and they get broken by a spirit that wants to break it. To give us a sign.
Everything's set up in the dining room.
I'm trying to take a photograph of everything we see.
I've been going around with this thing, and I pull up my big Canon with the thermal night vision, everything on it. Well, I've got a few lenses, but at the moment it's the thermal imaging, similar to Clara's app, but technologically more sound. No offense.
No, absolutely.
Pizza's on the way, so you'll want to go upstairs because at some point I definitely want to check the spooky basement.
Right. Well, I'm going to go upstairs now and just check out the staircase in the corridor, just to see what could have been caught at the corner of an eye, that kind of thing.
Well, let us know. Don't not tell us if something happens, even if you don't believe it. Tell us what actually happens in case it could
anything important. You'll know.
And we got to listen for the door because my boy's going to be bringing us a pizza each. Just FYI.
Did he say how long that would take, by the way?
Up to 30 minutes.
Fair enough. And so I will leave the room.
Okay. This is a perfect time for us to take a break. We're very close to 9:30. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, everybody. If you enjoyed our particular brand of chaos, please find the Discord link below and join our community for this and other projects that we'll be having in future and our regular broadcasts. Oh,
I want pizza now.
Follow us. That's above. Yeah, I want pizza now.
We had a follow earlier, so thank you very much.
I had a full meal and I want pizza. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back in 10 minutes. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get straight back into it. So, Angus, you head up the stairs.
Aye, well, I'll take it a bit slow. I want to check to see just how squeaky these stairs are. Is there anything particularly unusual, rickety about them, or unsafe, perhaps?
Nothing rickety. Yeah, nothing rickety, but the timbers have clearly had time to dry out. And so, yeah, fairly squeaky. Pretty damn squeaky. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of seeing why Todd is enjoying this house. It has a little bit of this haunted house vibe to it all. A few of the doors have creaked, and the stairs in particular have definitely creaked. Once you get onto the top landing, some of the floorboards go as well.
And is it a different cadence to the squeak of the floorboards compared to the squeak of the stairs? I mean, do they sound similar or are they different?
They are different. Yeah, floorboards on the landing are longer than the ones on the stairs. The ones on the stairs have a little more of a squeak, a high squeak, whereas more of a creak on the landing. I'm reminded of the book Across the Nightingale Floor, where they actually use the creaking of boards to sound like bird songs. So as you walked along this floor, it sounded like birds cheeping. But yeah, it's there's a certain difference in note between the two now that you've
I'll take some audio files of that. So I'll say what's sound of staircase, samples 1 to 10, and I'll take different samples of them. Sound of corridor, samples 1 to 10, and I'll take a bunch of different sounds of that. And photographs of the corridor as well. Yeah, what do I see?
Okay. So you can see on the first floor landing, there are doors that go to the master bedroom, second bedroom, third bedroom, bathroom, and there's a narrow set of stairs that go up to the attic.
Well, is there a window at the other end, or any windows at all?
There are windows. Currently, the curtains are closed.
So there are curtains as well. That was more importantly. So is the lights on or off?
The lights, I would say, are off. You can't see much at the moment, so I'm going to presume that you switch them.
If I can find the switch, then yes.
Yep, switch is at the top of the stairs, and there's also a duplicate switch that's between the master bedroom and the second bedroom. Once you switch it on, you do notice that there is a grandfather clock on this floor, but it seems to be inactive.
And at what time is it set at?
It is currently set to 4 o'clock.
4 p.m. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, because it's it's an old clock.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking for anything that looks damaged or anything that just anything out of the ordinary down this corridor. I'm not going to open any of the doors at this point, but I'm just taking photographs as I go, looking at the carpet. How worn is it? Is it carpet? Is it floorboard?
The carpet's worn but not threadbare, and all of the surfaces seem to be neatly dusted. Apparently, the girls had managed to finish this part of the house at least.
Do I recall how recently the cleaning staff were here? Because I didn't specifically ask Mavis of that.
Oh, you mean cleaning supplies?
We had the cleaners in.
Oh yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was 2 days ago. Yeah.
2 days ago.
They haven't been in for 2 days, and you can see that they were probably made to finish a few of the jobs, and then said, "Okay, once you finish this part, you can go home," or something like that. That's what you're imagining. You have seen like spray bottles and dusters just kind of abandoned in place, clearly.
Just throughout the house.
Back up when they return. Yeah.
Okay.
Now that you think it, you remember seeing them. Yeah.
So I'm not opening any of the doors, but I'm going to the end of the corridor to where the window is. Looking at the curtains. How heavy are the curtains?
Old-fashioned curtains, quite heavy, velvet with a back.
So they're effectively blackout curtains.
Yeah, they're very much so. Old-fashioned curtains, blacked out, so you can pretty much turn the place dark if you want to. Weighted with lead weights as well.
And does the window open?
Yes, it does.
Okay, is it currently open?
No, it's closed.
Okay. Photographs of all of that.
Sure.
And I'll try to see if the curtains will move, draw, close and
They
open.
do. Yep.
Did they make a noise when doing so?
Yes. It's a metal bar at the top,
Mhm.
a thin, hollow metal bar. There's metal rings on top of the curtains, and as you swish them backwards and forwards, it makes the sound that you'd expect for a metal ring along a hollow metal plate.
Sound of curtains, samples 1 to 5. Several copies of that.
Sure.
Look back down the corridor. Anything? Which direction is this window facing?
The window, there's two of them, front and rear. You're looking at the rear at the moment, and that looks over the conservatory. The other one looks over the front door.
I mean north, south, east, or west?
Let's go with the back is north facing.
So unlikely to catch shadows. And the other window, is that a similar arrangement but facing south?
Identical, yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'll just take noise samples of the curtains. But if, for example, there was sunlight or moonlight shining in, then I'm just trying to imagine what kind of angles that might. I'm just trying to get a picture of what sort of thing could potentially play a trick of the light and catch somebody's eye.
Depending on how off the north-south line it's going to be, you have a feeling that any shadows and any light coming in through these windows are probably going to cast quite a narrow shadow. It's not going to kind of spill out onto the landing proper.
All right. Okay. All of this I'll note in my audio log, and various photographs of different angles. Just sure. And then whilst I'm up here, might as well run up to the attic, see what I see.
Sure. Attic, smaller stairs.
Well, yeah.
So different noise walking
different
up.
Noise.
Seeing as you're interested
Again,
in that. Yeah.
Making records of that. Yeah.
Yep. The door at the top is you think maybe the door was. Don't dwell too much on this, but you think this door was probably a door that they got from something else, maybe a house clearance sale, because it doesn't quite fit the door frame. As you open it up, it hasn't warped like many of the doors in the house, and it opens freely. And inside is a very, very large open plan attic. Most of the things you can find here are household items. You can see that there are packs of bulbs.
I didn't quite catch that. Sorry, hand selected. I didn't catch your description. I apologize.
Oh, sorry. This is a large attic, open plan, effectively. It's got evidence on the floor that there used to be maybe a couple of rooms made out of this, but not any longer. And there's household items up here: packs of bulbs, gaffer tape, toolkits. Things along those lines. The only thing that really stands out of everything, and it's in the middle of the floor, is a large traveling case that smacks of 1920s. Probably a bit of an antique. It is bottle green with brass fittings.
Take a photograph of that.
Yep.
I'm gonna try lean into it and just see if the catch works. Can it be open?
Catch opens up here.
Okay. Well, we'll lift up the lid.
Yeah.
What's inside?
Nothing's empty.
Okay. Take a photograph of that. I will just feel inside. Does it feel like there's possibly any false compartment to this thing?
It's quite heavy, quite thick set, and it's thicker than it should be. Especially on the bottom. You have a feeling it might have a weighted bottom. You know that if you were going with traveling cases, especially on boats, some of them would have a plate of metal on the bottom of it, so that it wouldn't move around when the ship listed. Yeah, and you can tell that when you tip it up very slightly, bloody heavy. My God, really heavy. You do notice that there's rubber on the undersides, which seems to make sense.
So it feels like it's a normally designed case. It doesn't feel like there's something hidden in there. I mean, you said that the dimensions didn't quite line up. Does it strike me as being odd?
It strikes you as being a little bit more heavy than you'd expect. I mean, you're a hefty guy, and when he picks it up, you're like, bloody hell, And this is empty, So.
Right. Well, I'm going to. Having taken photographs of the general room, I'm going to pick up this case and heft it all the way back downstairs again.
Sure.
To the other.
The stairs creak with complaint as you bring this thing back down. You to bring it to the first floor or the ground floor?
I'm taking it all the way downstairs so that we can inspect it together.
Sure. I mean, this thing is a big. You're feeling like a stevedore as you're bringing this thing down. You're certainly kind of looking the part. The burly guy with this gigantic thing. I
mean, I think perhaps by the time I get to the second stairwell that goes down the stairs, I might shout down and go, "Hey guys, a bit of a hand here if you don't mind."
Yeah. Okay.
Just up top of the stairs here.
Oh, it's you. I was hearing creaking. I thought, it's you. Okay.
Well, you knew I'd gone upstairs and I was walking on like wooden floorboards, eh? Anyway, I found this in the attic. I think we should take a bit of a closer look at it, but it's heavy as. Can you just give us a hand?
Yeah, for sure, man. Oh, you want to do it? All right. Yo, I'll get a good shot of you with the
proper antique. Proper antique. You know, because this is set in 2020. The chap movement. This is chap as fuck. I mean, you would want a case like this. It would sell majorly.
That is nice.
Why do you need to look at this? What's special? Did something happen with it? Did it move?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It was a case doing what cases do. But it is. I mean, I know they weight these things, but this seems heavier than I would expect, and didn't want to go start hacking through it without you guys here.
All right, let me just change lens real quick because I don't think this is a thermal job. I think this might be more of like electromagnetic kind of stuff.
If you say so. All right, here we are. Back in the dining room. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I'm pretty much ready to go
when
you are.
And as Angus opens it up, you guys are waiting with bated breath, and the bloody thing's empty.
It's empty. I know it's empty, but look here.
Why is it so heavy?
Well, they do weight them. Back in the day, they weight them to stop them getting moved around in the ships. But this is definitely heavier than you'd expect it to be, and the dimensions don't quite fit. I think there's something hidden in here, but I didn't want to open it just on my own.
Okay.
Because corroborative evidence and all that.
Do we need like a knife or something to cut into it?
We've got a Stanley knife right here.
Down.
Is that coming from? Are we in the dining room?
You're on the ground floor at the bottom of the stairs currently, because you didn't specify otherwise.
I said I was in the dining room.
Oh, dining room. Okay, so you're in the dining room. You can hear the donging of not the carriage clock, but something much bigger. And it's appearing above you.
As in, it sounds like it's in the room above us?
There's a grandfather clock
up there. Above you.
There's a grandfather clock up there. It was stalled when I was there, but perhaps just me moving past it's kicked the old machinery back into life. These things quite often pause if they're a bit badly maintained, so that's probably just ticked off again. It was 4 o'clock.
What did?
The chimes stop at 12.
Oh, it goes for 12. That's at 12 again.
None of these things have been keeping proper time. No one's maintaining them.
Todd,
it is not 12.
No, I know. There's a little carriage clock in the office, and that was reading 12. That just dinged. That dinged like, I don't know, half an hour ago or more. And we found a note. Right?
Okay.
There's a link to midnight because we found a note. I wrote it down. Midnight. Why midnight? Was on a note in the office, and that clock was saying midnight when it's clearly not midnight. That's just done midnight. So it's clear.
So
it's
why midnight?
Right?
So someone just doesn't like midnight then? Like, why midnight?
No, but why?
Yeah, well, that
they've settled their clock.
That grandfather clock up there was set to 4 o'clock a few seconds ago, so it's properly broken.
Cara's gonna creep upstairs. She wants to go and see what the clock actually reads now.
The clock reads midnight and is not currently active. No TikTok. The weights are still.
It now says midnight.
I told you it's broken.
But it's not even ticking though.
It's broken and the hands moved up to midnight though. That's weird.
How do you take a photo? And she's gonna try and take a photo of the clock.
Sure. Are you taking a photo with your regular camera or with the newfangled
She's
thing?
gonna take a normal photo and then she's gonna bring up the app again.
Uh-oh.
Sure. Okay. The clock is cold. You have a picture of a grandfather clock at midnight.
She's gonna watch it for a second, see if it ticks at all. And then wanders back downstairs to the others.
Currently taking pictures of this case while Clara's been away.
So I think this bit here, is definitely not as big as I would expect it to be. I've got a Stanley knife on my belt here.
Go for it.
Ooh, this is antique. Oh, this feels wrong.
Wow. So
We're
you've
investigating.
noticed, Angus, that the sides of the traveling case they're thick because everything was back then. Everything was built to last. But the bottom is easily a good 4 or 5 inches. Even weighted, that's excessive. And so as you tear through the bottom of this beautiful velvet-lined case, I personally am cringing at what you've just done. You strip back the lining, and underneath there seems to be a piece of plyboard. Yep. There's a piece of plyboard underneath, and you do notice that they have very deliberately drilled tiny little holes in the plyboard.
We'll try and lever that plyboard up.
Sure. Butchering this this case even further.
I'm taking photographs of everything as we go.
Oh yeah,
by the way.
yeah. You have a feeling that this knife probably wouldn't cut through the outer body of this because that's some serious stuff. But it's making short work of this plyboard as you kind of just jam it into the grain. And underneath is a what can only be considered to be a gas canister, a set of piping, and a battery, ever ready, the big square kind, the ones with the 2 springs on top. Yeah. And a strange circuit.
Do I make any sense of this with my technical knowledge, or is it not an appropriate?
Because you chose the right background, you suss it out just by looking at it. And yes, Aura, the 9-volt one, the big one that you can knock someone out with.
That'll be a 12-volt one, by the way.
Oh, 12-volt, is it? Yeah, so not 9-volt, sorry, the big 12-volt one. Volt one, yeah. Sorry, I know what it looks like, I can't remember the voltage. And you see it straight away. With your character background, the other 2 haven't got a clue, but you look at it straight away. So what happens is you, as you start to hack up the side as well, following this circuit, you can see 2 things happen. When you close and lock the case, the gas goes off. Then there's a tiny little reed switch halfway up and it's denoted by a button because it's got this lovely satin with the buttons along the way. It's a very, very typical style back in the 1920s. Pretty much every sofa and every soft furnishing had it somewhere. Where that button is, there's a reed switch. And that reed switch opens the case from the inside.
Looks like it's some form of pneumatic control system. This switch here would open that case if anything inside wanted to get out.
Looking at it closer, it's not pneumatic. There's a tiny, tiny little electrical bit that opens up the case. When you look closer at the gas canister, and this is all from your background, the gas canister has oxygen in it.
My mistake. This is intended to keep whatever's in the case alive. That's why they got the little holes.
How
I
big
look
is
over
this
at
case? Sorry.
I look over at the wall and take note of the Houdini poster. I'm like, maybe this is like, maybe we just destroyed some Houdini memorabilia though. Oh no.
Oh no!
I
Oh
wouldn't be
no!
at all surprised.
Maybe it's like a magic trick and this is
Wait,
like escape
how-
from the suitcase and he could breathe and
How big is the case? Is it big enough for someone to get in it? A person?
Easily.
Oh. Oh no! We've just.
oh no.
I think.
Oh.
Does the case have any shipment marks on it?
No. If anything, it is pristine. Running your finger over the top of it, you can even see that it's clearly got signs that it's been polished a lot.
So this has not been a practical case. This is probably some kind of, just some kind of,
trick.
as you say, a trick, a prop maybe.
Does
Yeah,
it look like there's a sort of mask or a mouthpiece in it? Like, does this look like it potentially had been for, like, you know, you go in the case, you get dropped in a water tank or something, and you have to get out?
The small holes in the plywood suggest that the oxygen would come in through the velvet lining from the plywood.
Okay.
The small holes are up against what looks like a funnel that the oxygen would come through and bring the oxygen into the main case. Angus can tell you most of this.
Yeah, so this character used to own this house. Was he a performer of some kind? I didn't really pay much attention.
Bradley
Oh.
Weiss.
Ka-chunk! And something has fallen off a shelf somewhere on the ground floor.
We're missing it! We're missing it! I run out the room, like fumbling with my phone, looking for the sound.
Okay.
Where did it sound like it was coming from? The study or the kitchen?
The study.
I'm gonna chase as well. I was like, yo, we might be missing it. And
Come
this
on!
is let's go. Alright, I chase after Clara.
I'll follow up the rear.
There's a book that has fallen out of one of the bookcases, and it's about 1920s vaudeville. And the book, when it fell on the floor, a bookmark has fallen out, and it's a bill ticket for the theatre.
Does it look like I can tell where the bookmark had been, or is it completely out?
Are you picking up the bookmark?
I'm currently looking to see if the bookmark is still telling me the page before I
Hard
touch
to tell.
anything.
The book is open and currently has a picture of I'm going to go with Mae West and Alan and Alan and Bailey. So Alan and Bailey were a comedy duo. Mae West, obviously, a singer, and you don't know if that's significant. But the book, when it fell out, anything could happen. But the bookmark itself is an Orpheum Theatre playbill.
The Orpheum Theatre is based where?
It's based. It was right on the Vaudeville Strip in America.
Todd, get this on
One of the more
camera.
famous ones.
I'm
It
in
fell
there with
open!
the camera. Like, I think I'm on the night vision lens.
Sure.
As helpful as that is.
The book doesn't give off any heat, and but now that you're all looking in that direction, there is a name that jumps out: Wizard Weiss and the alluring Jenny Wren.
Yo, that's a good
Wait,
name.
Wizard
though.
Weiss. His name is Weiss. Bradley
Yes, it
Weiss.
is. So
He was a
looks like
wizard?
our, well,
I mean, I don't believe in
It's like-
wizards. I just mean, you know.
I mean, come on now.
That was not a believe. You definitely believe in wizards, don't you,
No.
Clara?
No, I mean, that's exciting because he was actually part of the vaudeville thing. I mean, that was probably maybe
That is
obvious
dope.
because he's got all the things.
Where was that information written? On
The
the
inform-
ticket?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So the
right.
the
Ticket or
bookmark
book?
itself is a small playbill, like a small flyer that you would give
Mhm.
out when the shows are going when you're out in the street touting for business. Back in the day when that was still acceptable.
Okay.
I miss that these days. The and yeah, it has a lineup of all the various performers. You don't recognize any of the others, but Weiss came out at you when you were all looking at it, and yeah, Wizard Weiss and the alluring Jenny Wren, spelled W-R-E-N, like the bird.
Jenny Wren.
I'm gonna take a quick Instagram selfie of the action scene. This is premium content that has to be shared with the fans.
I back out to try not to get in the picture. Like, no.
I'm going to pick up my phone and I'm going to Google Wizard Weiss and Jenny Wren.
Okay. When you Google it, you don't get many hits. You're technically capable. I would probably screw over Clara if she tried it. But this is on page 6 of Google. As you're there just going, nope. Page 6 of Google, you do see, although Google's about to answer me back, I don't want you, Google. Go away. Go away. You try to butt into every episode.
I hate you.
On page 6, you do see Wizard Weiss and Jenny Wren. It's just named as a part of a lineup, but then somebody's put a link to it and on a wiki, and when you click on it, you can see quite a dashing young man center of the picture, and off to the side in what is a back-breaking, curve-accentuating pose, wearing the tightest damned leotard you have ever seen and a large feather boa, is a beautiful honey blonde girl.
Guys, take a look at this. How big is this girl?
How big?
Yeah, in
As in she a girl or a...
Oh, could she fit in the case? You mean?
Well, I mean, is she a small girl or is she?
She's
typically
she's kind of leggy. You'd think that she tops out at around about 6'1", but Weiss himself looks about, presuming that is Wizard Weiss, is about 6'5", so he's a little bit higher than her. They make the kind of all-American glamour couple.
So I'll show the
What kind of pose is that? How can anyone bend themselves that way?
It's just like a contortionist or something. No, that looks painful. In my head, that looks painful.
Are there any other links here that I can click on, find out anything else about either one of these people?
Annoyingly, like one single entry in ancestry.co.uk, you every time you go out and find another reference to it, which is a few pages on in Google, you end up coming back to the same picture. And the only bits that you'll get extra if you persist is that it was a picture of the opening night for Wizard Weiss and Jenny Wren, apparently an up-and-coming star on the Vaudeville strip.
Is it dated at all?
It is. It is dated August the 3rd, 1927.
August the 3rd, 1927.
I guess maybe it didn't go so well.
Does it say that?
Well, I'm just guessing because I ain't heard of them. This stuff is cool.
Google's not heard of them either. I'm guessing that it wasn't a match.
It wasn't.
Made in heaven.
Where did you find it if it wasn't on Google?
Well, Google's only got that one thing. If there was a successful duo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There'd be like a wiki and stuff.
Well, Clara, you did not land in this shot. Do you want me to take another one?
No.
You sure? All right.
Nope. No, I'm looking at the bookshelf for where the book fell out. Is there an obvious hole? And what kind of other books are in that same sort of area?
There is an obvious hole, and everything along that area is around the same thing of arts and performance. There seems to be a strange categorization system. It doesn't seem to be specifically about vaudeville. You've got biographies and autobiographies of various performers. There are books on Houdini. There's books on the great performers of the time. I mentioned a few already, Mae West, Charlie Chaplin, it's all there. And there's a layout of the great music halls. And now that you kind of pour through it, some of them are about illusionists and things like that. But the three that you find that are illusionists as great illusionists of the 1920s and things like that, they seem to be relatively untouched. There's no signs of being heavily read. You haven't taken them out yet, but tell me if you do. And,
you were saying as I flipped through, so I started flipping through as if I was. I'm not.
Oh, right.
I wasn't
sure.
planning
Okay,
to touch them, but then you mentioned it, so I you.
I meant kind of looking along the spines as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
So looking along the spines, you can see that the spines have been cracked quite a lot on Mae West, Charlie Chaplin, Houdini, all of that lot.
Yeah.
The biographies in particular.
Yeah.
But then the ones about illusionists and all that lot, spines haven't even been cracked.
I want to pull out one that's about illusionists and very carefully kind of look for a kind of content page or a glossary or something and look for the name Wizard White. Wizard.
Okay. As you open the front of the book, the spine starts to creak slightly. It's never been properly opened.
I'm like really trying to like just hardly open it at all. Like, because she so doesn't want to break this book.
Inside blank cover, it says, to Bradley, one day you'll appear in this book too. And it's signed Harry Houdini.
Oh, wow. But he didn't think much of the book because he didn't ever read it. Yes, he wanted to be on it. Okay. There's nothing about him in this book.
He certainly seems to have been trained by the very best of the world.
He definitely knew them all, yeah.
Are we in a magic house?
Well, there's magic and there's magic. It's funny how they say that magic's only real when it's,
I don't mean like, wizards and spells and stuff. I mean, like stage magic.
Illusionists.
Yeah, but they're magicians.
Yeah, but why would you have illusions in your house of breaking glasses and things? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, fun, maybe. I'm not
practice.
Yeah.
Do you want to test out these effects on your guests? Make sure it's going to work with an audience.
Oh, could you imagine having a dinner party in this house at that point? Like stuff happening. Well, I wish I was there.
That would have been quite the thing.
I feel like
I'm gonna inspect the place where the book came out of. I'm looking for any form of ejection lever, any form of hidden spring, anything like that.
None can be found. Even with all your technical expertise, that's solid wood.
Well, if I'm going to get foxed, I might as well get foxed by the best. These guys were the best.
While Angus is doing that, I'm going to start, going back through the camera and just looking at the previous footage and snaps and just having a general look of things, make sure I've got everything and, like maybe I got lucky and missed something. I don't know.
Okay. Can you remind me, I've drawn cameras next to all the things that you guys have gone into so far. Can you remind me, was it you who went into the study or was it just Angus and Clara?
Yeah, I have not been in the study.
Okay, cool. In that case, so nothing from the study.
Just the dining room and the kitchen, really.
Dining room and the kitchen.
Here now.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing.
I think I want to go and inspect the bedroom and see who stayed in which room. I wonder if this Jenny Wren lived here.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
You coming with me?
Yeah. Me? Can I?
I don't think
Let's
you
go.
have to ask. If you two are going to do
That's what we're here
that,
for, after all.
if you two are going to do that, I definitely want to check out the spooky basement. So I'm gonna. What?
Yeah, no, actually, no. You check out the spooky basement, film some stuff. I want to check out whether they were a couple and the. Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Wow! All right, learning things about my colleagues today.
Shut up.
You two have fun. I'm gonna go to the spooky basement town, and I'm gonna wander off.
Okay. So, Angus and Clara go into the bedrooms. There's a master bedroom, a second bedroom, and a third bedroom. Which one would you like to go to first?
We'll start with the master.
Okay. You open the master bedroom, and it's clearly very recently, about 23 years ago, the bedroom of an old man. You can see that certain accoutrement has been placed down, some things to help him get in and out of bed. You can see a very thick pair of glasses by the bedside table, which kind of suggests to you, unless somebody deliberately put them back there, that he died in his sleep. The bed is made. It's beautiful, beautiful wardrobe, and two things jump out at you immediately. The first is on the bedside table, both items actually, on the bedside table. One is a picture of a man that you now recognize as a young Bradley Weiss. The girl that's next to him, I don't know. Is she the same girl? You're not quite sure. Seems to be the same girl, but instead of having the luscious honey blonde hair that you can see in the what you can assume was digitally restored or digitally colored picture on the internet, this hair seems to be darker than that, but it's a black and white photo, so you can't tell. The next thing that strikes you is right next to it, and that is a alarm clock, the old wind up with two little bells on the side, little hammer that goes between the two, and it's broken, as in the clock face has a giant crack in it, and it's set to midnight, which is in 59 minutes time.
So the photographs on the wall of the older guy, they're convincingly of Bradley.
Sorry, what's that?
The photograph, you said there was a photograph of an older gentleman on the wall, or did I miss that?
No, it was young Bradley Weiss, and standing next to him was the same girl.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the photograph. Little frame on the bedside table of this couple, except instead of him posing and her posing kind of just off to the side of him, he has his arm around her waist. Sorry, I forgot to give this part before. He's got his arm around her waist, and it looks like they're at a soiree. She's not in this kind of leotard costume now. Instead, she's in quite a very typical 1920s dress, and at this point was just going French fashion. Towards the latter part of the 1920s, they started adopting a lot more of the French fashion rather than what was considered to be more Western fashion. And so yeah, I mean, she's showing a little bit more, and yeah, they are holding. Well, he's put his hand around her waist. He looks happy. She looks happy, genuinely.
Well, photographs of everything. Is this a double bed?
It is a double bed.
The cupboards, are they large enough? I mean, inside the cupboards, clothing, and is there two genders worth of clothing or just one?
There's only one gender's worth of clothing, with one exception. So on the left-hand side of the cupboard, it is a his and hers giant armoire. On the left-hand side, where the gents' clothes would normally be, there are gents' clothes, and looking at them, there are some that are kind of threadbare and stuff like that. Smacks of old guy. There's only one item on the right-hand side, and that is a gold dress, gold sequin dress, and the dress appears to be stylized in the form of feathers, large feathers.
And would this fit someone of the apparent height of this Jenny Wren?
You would imagine so.
That's beautiful.
It's quite spectacular, is it not? Again, photographs. It goes back in. Oh, do you want to have a look?
Well,
I'll hand it to you. Detect your spiritual stuff.
But she sort of gives him a thing, but then actually thinks, oh yeah, maybe I will, and she's gonna like cling to her her bear totem thing and see if she can like call on Nana, and if Nana will help her out.
You're not sure if you imagine it, but you have feelings of love and sorrow and desperation. And all three clocks, ding, bong, all strike midnight at the same time.
Well, I'm going to pick up as it's striking. I'm going to pick this thing up. When you say it strikes as an alarm clock, does it go off?
Yep, alarm clocks.
Okay. I'm going to listen for a mechanism inside.
No ticking.
I'm going to open up the back.
Clearly, it's been kind of wound. There's two springs on a clock like this. One is for the ticking mechanism, for the timekeeping mechanism. The second one winds up a separate spring for the hammer. This is the one that is going off currently.
And okay, so this has just been. What's interesting, of course, is that none of these clocks are going off until we've disturbed them in some way. These things can retain a little bit of mechanical energy that only get released when disturbed. So,
and 20 seconds later, that spring is spent.
And I'm going to change the time on that clock to 6:45.
Sure. Are you winding it up so it ticks?
Nope, just changing the time.
Sure. Done.
I wonder if something bad happened at midnight. And she looks back
Lots
at
of
the
things
dress.
happen at all hours. I guess it's midnight somewhere in the world.
Clara wants to look around this room and then start to wander just generally around the top floor and the other rooms. She's looking for more pictures of this Jenny Wren or any indication of her.
I'll go to the second. Well, which bedroom are you going into?
She's
going to take the second or third?
The next, whatever's next, the second one, I guess.
And I'll take the third.
Okay.
Okay.
Kate, when you open up the second bedroom, it is furnished pretty much the same as the master bedroom, just with slightly smaller items. Clearly some form of single guest room, you're thinking. Doesn't really give you any kind of indication of maybe children or anything like that. You can't get too far into this room because it is full of boxes and boxes and boxes of women's clothing.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely stuff here. What about you, Angus? And I keep going in, just keep calling out to him, but
nothing here yet. Nothing here.
And are they sealed or open? How do I know that they're full of women's clothes?
They're mostly open. You can see that there's a lot of things that would belong to a woman, but they're all 1920s stuff. You can see there's beautiful painter's costumes, the stage costumes. You can see various forms of body powder and the types of things that women in the 1920s would have to use either on stage or just in general. Some of them look painful. There's one thing that's either kind of combination bra corset, you're not sure, but looks like a bloody torture device.
Is there anything else obvious in the room? Is there anything on display, or is it everything kind of boxed up?
This smacks of storage room to you. The boxes aren't sealed, but it's clearly this is where all of that stuff has been put. Clearly, they're not as important as that dress.
Clara is gonna sit herself down, pretty much in the doorway, or just a bit in, but viewing the whole room, like close-ish to where all the boxes are. She wants to just sit down and look at this all, and she's just gonna hold her totem and Jenny, are you here? Jenny Wren?
You feel butterflies in your stomach, almost as if something's about to happen.
Wait, do you need our help? Something happen here?
There's a rushing sound in your ears. Not quite sure what it is. It sounds almost like the blood rushing in your ears.
We're here to help you. If you need it, give me a sign.
You can feel the constriction around your midriff. Just a tightness. You're not quite sure if you're imagining it. Just very slightly hard to breathe. And as quickly as you notice it, it's gone.
Oh, that was... I open my eyes. Do I see anything?
No.
And I look down. Guys! I run to find Angus.
Okay, I'll deal with Angus before you arrive.
Yep.
So, switching to Angus, please. Angus, the third bedroom is remarkably different to the other two, or as far as you're aware, the other one. There is still a few items that seem to be dated, but there's a few other bits that's in place. A small travel kennel that would have been at home in the 90s is there with little individual sachets of tea, coffee, sugar, things like that. There's the bed is made up, and you can see that there is a drawing desk. So a slanted drawing desk with all the various technical drawing tools, there's on the drawing desk itself. There's a big technical pad with there's both logarithmic paper and regular squared paper. The regular squared paper is on the technical drawing desk at the moment, and drawn in marker is a message. And it says, "Thank you, Bradley. We did it!" ! And it's signed Andrew underneath. Sorry, Jason underneath. And there's a business card that has been just placed at the bottom of the drawing desk, and it says Jason Andrews, consultant engineer, Homes Without Borders. You're muted, Angus.
Do I know this company?
You know that this was a charity in the 90s. They've been absorbed into Oxfam now, and they were all about setting up settlements back during Ethiopia, most of the Ethiopia crisis. Their last action was the tsunami appeal, and shortly after that they joined forces with and became part of Oxfam. And they were volunteer professionals that would go out to crisis areas, and there would be supply line engineers and technical staff that would put together camps for refugees, and they would go and restore villages and that have been decimated either by famine, poverty, pestilence, things like that. And clearly this guy had, by the looks of it, stayed temporarily here whilst under the tuition of what would have been a quite elderly, but clearly still savvy, Bradley Weiss.
And anything else in this room out of the ordinary, as would clearly this is a guest room. Is there anything else in here that would be out of place in a guest room?
Nothing. No. It's just this drawing desk is the only thing. The drawing desk, the message, and the card pretty much speak for themselves. Everything else seems normal. Yeah, it seems consistent, and everything that I've told you kind of hit you in the face. The second you walked in, it was glaringly different.
Fine. Photographs of everything as per usual, and fascinating.
Sure. Okay.
Angus!
Hello?
Sorry. Yeah.
Did you find something?
Well, you're not gonna believe me anyway. But there's boxes full of women's clothing and stuff. It's a storage room, but it's full of, I think it's Jenny's. It's Jenny's stuff, and I asked her. Yeah, no, I reached out to her. And, well, I would say she hugged me, but it was actually kind of hard to breathe for a moment, so I don't know how friendly the hug was, but she gave me a sign. I felt something. I couldn't see anything, but I felt something. Explain that, huh? Explain that.
You felt something.
I felt a tightness, like someone was bear hugging me. I couldn't breathe very well for a moment.
And what were you doing at the time?
I was calling out to Jenny. I asked her if she was okay and if she needed our help and if she could give us a sign.
And then you think you felt somebody touch you?
I did feel I did.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but
I know, but
it's not exactly conclusive, is it?
I can't make it conclusive. You try it. Do you want to try it? You got to do it in the other room, though. Maybe you'll feel something, and then.
I think that's hardly necessary, don't you?
I'm going to switch over to Todd here.
Oh.
Todd, you go down into the basement. It's narrow. It's nasty. It's, it smells awful. It's perfect. It is perfect. You've got cobwebs. If this hasn't been touched, everything's dusty and dirty. You get to the bottom of these really narrow stairs, tucked underneath the stairs that go up to the first floor. And you get just about to the bottom of the stairs, and you are presented with an absolute wall of crap. This is stacked, and you don't know how they got half of this shit down here. And what the hell are these things? I mean, there's huge panes of glass. There's these weird, nasty, rusted lengths of metal. There's bits of kit that look like it's torture equipment, man. What the hell? You can see that there's some of the velvet curtains that you can see around the house. This is a different color. These are kind of like a burgundy. Maybe they would have been brighter. You're not sure. Yeah, kind of a bit hard to see with the light from your camera. There's no light down here. You're having to look through your night vision and occasionally kind of use a torch. And the one thing that you think is the coolest, I mean, this makes the shot, is this gigantic saw blade. I mean, this thing must have been used to cut giant redwoods in half. Yeah, it is easily 3 foot tall, giant, nasty-looking spike kind of blades on it. It looks like the stuff of nightmares. It is the best.
Let's go. Okay, I'm getting my phone out and putting the torch on real quick as I put the other camera down. I try and get a closer look at this thing, this giant saw blade. I'm looking for the fine details. I'm looking for blood. I want blood.
As you look closer, there is a brown substance that seems to be just on the inside of the hooks that haven't quite been kind of cleaned or buffed up over time. You're pretty sure it's blood, man.
Oh, that's disgusting. We can't touch that. But that's dope as hell. Oh man, I'm gonna have to take. I should shout for the busy. I'm just gonna start taking pictures as I put the other camera back on, put my phone back in my pocket because I've got the night vision. I don't need another source of light right now, as I'm very focused on taking pictures of mostly the saw blade, some of the other little bits and pieces. But yeah, I want to get a good long video of me going around this saw blade. I'm going to narrate over all of this later. I don't need to do this now. I'll script it. It's going to be good. But right now, I just want to get like the nice premium shots.
Yeah. You're using a night vision camera. So the one thing that you get that you would not have got if you were just using the Pissant light from your phone is that you do see a couple of the crates have a very faded, that you can see it, very faded stamp. It must have been like an ink stamp, and it's the same curling script, Orpheum Theatre, on the side.
Ooh. Gonna finish up with my shots, and then I'm definitely looking to investigate these crates as I head over. Are these open, closed? Like, what's the deal?
They seem to be simple crates with just a latch, a pair of latches that you can just chink chink and open it up. If you want to open up those, you can do that. I have a quick question for you, just for my own notes. How much of a believer are you right now?
So at this point, I'm not a believer in this house. I feel like we found a really cool archive of magical illusionist stuff.
Okay.
But if you asked him, like, hand on heart, Todd would say he's a believer, and he's really looking for this actual proof. And
yeah, you're excited. The blood's rushing in your ears. You can hear this whoosh, and you can almost kind of smell the grease paint. You can almost, even though it's dark in here, you almost feel like there's a tan on the back of your neck. Maybe you're imagining the heavy lights of the theater on your back. You're really getting into this now. You know that this is the shit, man. This is where all the real magic is. Yeah, the magic behind the magic. You know, you're here in the inner sanctum with all of his stuff.
we're on the other side now. Let's go. I start just opening the crates. I'm ready for it. Cameras up and going.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that there's the first thing you can see as you open up there, lying on top is a pair of magician's gloves.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there's little kind of mechanisms that he would have had on his wrist that just with a flourish would have just shot something into his hand. You know, this is behind the magician's curtain stuff here. It's a whole array of magician's tricks.
I pick up the gloves and I play with them a little. I immediately start rooting around through everything I find, but I'm looking for that classic top hat.
Yes, there's a top hat. There's definitely a top hat.
Pull out the wonderful black with the white ribbon around it. Let's go as I put the top hat on.
Okay. You get a strange sensation of, I don't know, like tinnitus in your head. And you're getting these kind of ideas and you're kind of like imagining like maybe it's something that was part of the background in the show of lines, like concentric lines kind of going all over the place, kind of weird ass patterns, and you're just kind of like, whoa, and it's firing your imagination. You're there, you can feel it. And this sensation of the hot lights on the back of your neck, and the grease paint, and I don't know, it's almost like you kind of laugh at yourself as you realize that the rushing in your ears, man, it almost sounds like applause.
This is getting too real. I take the hat off.
Sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, you give yourself a moment to calm down. Clearly, it's in your imagination, but wow.
Ooh. That is a great trick. I'm gonna take hold of that hat because I gotta let the others have a try of this. This is good. Y'all, I know there's no one in here. I'm gonna be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna head back upstairs with the top hat and my camera.
Okay. As you get to the top of the stairs, there is a little ting, 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 ting behind you, but a tiny little thing.
Look back round.
Probably not something.
Hello? Mouse. Old house. Lots of noise. Lots of noises. I keep going. I'm going to try and find the others.
Yeah. You would, at this point, I'll say that this is where you hear all of the clocks going up at 12, where the guys sit upstairs.
Again with this? How does that even? Bet this is another cool trick. Oops, speaking of which, hat time. Gonna keep going.
Sure. And you go upstairs, so you're going to find the others?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Okay. So Angus, Kate, as you are just finishing your conversation of Clara, I shouldn't say Angus, Kate, Angus, Clara. As Clara finishes her explanation, Todd comes up the stairs with a beautiful-looking top hat.
Yo, I hit the jackpot down there. Set my camera down on the floor for a second, show him the nice top hat. I tried this on. It felt like I was there, yo. You gotta give it a go. You want to say that again, Angus? You're a bit far away from me. No.
No.
I'll get closer. Hang on.
I think I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Yo, Clara, do you want to try on the magician's hat?
Yeah. Before I do, just keep an eye on me when I do, because I just did a thing. He doesn't believe it, but I just see this room, and I'm just gonna point into the room with all the boxes. So we reckon that he definitely had a relationship with this Jenny Wren, and
Hey.
but like all these clothes in here in the boxes, they look like they're from the 20s. So, but he's still kind of obsessed with her at the end, because there's a wonderful gold sequin dress in his room and a picture of her, and I just
No.
why is it what
Again
was
with
that
this.
just the one? Was that
It's
just
the
the
door.
one?
Pizza, though.
There we go.
I hand over the
I think
hat
it's-
and I run
I think
downstairs
it's-
to get the door.
A little bit late though, isn't it? We should get our money back.
We didn't pay for it, so whatever.
There we go.
Head downstairs.
Clara,
Yeah.
as any of these clothes date from any period past the 1920s?
I put the hat down somewhere safe on the thing. I don't know. Come look at this, and wander into the room and start looking a bit more, because she only really kind of glanced in the boxes. She didn't want to start delving like the others do. She's a bit less willing to do that, but Angus might, and she's probably maybe hoping that he will search stuff she doesn't want to do.
Between Angus and Clara, you notice that there are no women's clothing beyond the 1920s style.
Whoever this Jenny is, either they split up or she died.
Blah 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 blah. Todd, you turn around after picking the 3 pizzas off the delivery guy. Some gits knocked your camera down the stairs. You're muted.
Now you're muted.
This was expensive.
Seems all right.
Thank you, Cornelius, for the amazing delivery job. I will flash you a tip. Boy, close the door.
Sure.
As I don't know really what to do right now, as I've got 3 pizzas stacked in one hand and I want to grab my camera, and I'm like, I don't feel like I should do both. All right, yo, pizza's in the dining room, and I'm gonna just put them on the table, go back and grab my camera, giving it a look over, make sure it's like trying to take some quick pictures, make sure everything's okay, because this is expensive.
Okay. As you go into the dining room and put the pizzas down, you currently catch the minibar, and what you know is a bottle of vodka looks a lot like a bottle of water, and suddenly you are terrified and you're having trouble breathing.
I fall backwards, like landing on my behind, and I'm just pushing myself backwards. I'm trying to gain distance from this thing, because I'm just like.
The closer you get to the door, the better it is. You breathe more.
Yeah, I'd scramble for that door.
You get out the door and you feel fine.
Hey, someone wanna
What was that? You right there, Todd?
I don't know, like I just lost my breath for a second there.
What?
Are you alright, there, Todd? You look a bit shaken.
Yeah, I do look a bit pale as well.
Come down the stairs.
I don't know. I just had a
Did
moment.
something grip
you?
you?
It was-
Did something
What?
grip you? Did
No,
someone
I was
bear
just,
hug you?
I don't recall being grabbed. I just you're not gonna believe me. It's
What's the problem here?
It sounds, when I play it in my head, it sounds ridiculous. I was
Tell us.
putting the pizzas. I was putting the pizzas down.
Right in there.
Yeah, right over there. I ain't going in there for a minute. Just one hot minute, right over here, please. As I remember looking at the minibar, I saw the vodka or whatever clear liquid it is, and it's like I had a panic attack, and couldn't breathe, and it just took me a minute to regain my composure.
Have you had a history of alcoholism or anything?
No. I'm a social drinker. I've got some prescription painkillers that I'm sticking to, and I need to. I haven't taken anything in the past
Was it the sherry?
few hours. Pardon?
Was it the sherry
No,
decanter? Oh no, that broke.
No, it was clear. It was like vodka.
I'll go in and pick the bottle up and bring it out again.
Okay, so
I pushed myself against the wall.
So you go into the dining room. You pick up the bottle of vodka.
Yep.
No effect to you. You bring it out to the dining room, and when you bring it out to the two others, no reaction from Todd. Todd's kind of apprehensive and kind of flinches, but Todd, you're fine. Kate, you start to hyperventilate. That's right, Clara. You start to hyperventilate, and suddenly you feel claustrophobic. You feel like you need to get out of here now, and you're in the bloody corridor. You just need to get out of here.
Oh, I'll take this away again.
No, take it away.
What?
I'm back in the room.
That was so weird. Whoa, what is wrong with that bottle?
There's nothing wrong with the bottle.
I beg to differ.
Are you feeling okay?
No, that was.
How did it feel? How did it feel for you?
It felt like I was suffocating. I mean, like kind of like claustrophobic. Not suffocating specifically, but just really bad feelings. That was. Oh, why do you not get affected by it? What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? I don't think I'm the one with the problem here.
I'm gonna just open the front door real quick. Let the air in.
When he opens the door, it feels much better, Clara.
Yeah. Okay, that was weird. I've never had that. Before.
Yeah.
I thought I want happy ghosts, happy spirits. There's bad things here. We need to make whatever's bad here better.
We need to record it, and we can, in the process, people gotta know. We gotta figure out why this is happening.
I'm gonna grab a slice of pizza.
Yep. Pizzas are good. They didn't screw up your order.
Get them while it's hot, guys.
Yeah.
I didn't have that when I went in that room before. We were in the dining room before.
I will take them out. I'll take them out. Here you go. You don't have to go in the room.
I don't know whether I feel.
Thank you.
I take a piece of the Hawaiian, but she just kind of holds it because she's kind of feeling a bit freaked out and her appetite's kind of gone.
Tell me
We
about
were
this.
in the dining room before. Sorry.
Yes, we were, and it didn't affect you at all, did it?
No. What's the time? I look at my watch.
The time is let's see. It
Are you
is
trying to do my
11:30.
25? Right. Yeah. 11:30.
Oh, tell us what you found. You found the hat.
Oh, I left it upstairs. Should I get it?
Yeah. It was a trip. I don't know. I guess I was just projecting or something. I put the hat on, and I felt like I was like the magician on stage. I could feel the hot lights on the back of my neck because I was kind of out there going like hooray in front of the crowd, and I just felt real good. I was like if this is like a trick, I want to share it because that's a good feeling. Yeah.
Did you actually felt that, or you just imagined that you were on the stage?
I mean, what's the difference, right?
I don't know. You can imagine hot lights. If you feel heat, that's different.
I mean, if I still imagine it, it's still a thing that the triggers and stimuli are real in my brain. So
imagination can indeed be very powerful.
Right.
What else was down there?
So there were plenty of tricks, and like there was some cool magician's gloves, and the central magnificence piece. You're gonna freak. A giant old ass saw blade, like the kind of thing that you'd cut trees down with, probably from some kind of trick. I think there was some dried blood on there. I wouldn't touch it, and I didn't, but I was like, it looks creepy as all hell. I took some real good shots of that with the camera.
Do you
like,
think do you think something went wrong with the trick?
Could you show me the photograph?
I did really. I'm gonna go grab my camera and pass it to Angus. I didn't really think about that at the time. I was just kind of hoping for sensationalism.
And blood on it?
I mean, it looked like really dry blood. It could have been blood. It could have been something else. I don't know. It could be rust. They're probably a similar color.
Oh God! What if they were lovers and then he cut her in half and he actually cut her in half?
That's disgusting.
It's not impossible.
You just told me about dry blood.
You said you had a pain.
I'm trying to eat here.
Clara, you said you had a pain around your midriff. About where a saw blade would go, maybe. If you were
and I couldn't breathe then, and then I couldn't breathe now, kinda. This is different feeling, kind of, but claustrophobic.
Upstairs.
I'll run upstairs.
They put them in a box. When they saw them in half, they put them in a box. And I follow him up, but she's kind of scared, so she doesn't go all that fast. And is checking whether or not Todd is coming.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming, but I'm having thoughts along the way. But we'll go.
No need to blank yourself off. You're all going. But Angus steps through the room first. The armoire is open, and the sequin dress that is in the shape of feathers is on the floor.
I can't have hung it up correctly.
Wait. I hung it up. Wait, I hung it up. I'm coming in.
No, I've picked it up by that point, I think.
Yeah, sure. And I want to look at the dress. I want to look on the inside of the dress. Does it look like it was cut in half at one point and re-sewed together?
No, but now that you inspect it, there is one small torn part. In the cleavage area, there seems to have been a small pocket sewn into it. A pocket that kind of folds over on itself, so that you have to pull the kind of fold back. And you're not sure.
Big enough for like a key or something.
Yeah, you just about fit a key in there. It's like the size of maybe a 2p coin, maybe.
Look! There's a thing. There's a pocket here.
Oh, neat.
I wonder what it had in it. Why would this
now
drop?
You're looking at, and this is the only torn bit. The pocket is frayed at the bottom.
As if something might have fallen out of it.
Like
yeah. Now that you're inspecting it for potential tears, that's the only torn part, the only frayed part is this tiny little weird pocket. It's just kind of underneath the left boob.
Hey, so a lot of the tricks and things we've seen have been like escapology, like getting out of water tanks and things. What if that was like a key pocket?
Hidden pockets, and there's a classic.
And it's frayed,
technique.
and I kind of put my fingers through to show that there's a hole in the bottom of it.
Oh man!
Something.
What if Jenny Wren had an accident?
That seems very possible, very, very likely. In fact, none of these clothes date past the 1920s. She either left them or she died, and it is increasingly looking like she might have died.
Oh, man. I hope it wasn't on stage. That would suck.
Yeah.
Does it look like there's any desks or diary, like somewhere where someone might keep a journal or a diary or like anything in this the bedside table thing where the picture was, or maybe on the back of the picture or anything like that might give dates, or just looking to see if there's a diary where he says, "Oh, I remember when I killed her."
When you open the bedside table, there seems to be a simple spiral-bound notebook, and he hasn't ripped out. Well, he's ripped out some of the pages clearly because you get that little kind of bit that gets stuck in the spiral. But there's a few pages that he hasn't ripped out. Maybe he was still considering them, and he is writing down various. He's writing down various things, and there seems to be a lot of textile stuff, different threads,
textile,
different materials. Textiles, yeah, different materials, different threads, and he's actually got what seems to be a panel and designs of how to sew it in and get it so that it's flexible, and it's almost like haberdashery stuff in there as well. This guy was clearly a Renaissance man.
He was very, very talented, very, very skilled. I mean, his engineering skills, from what I've seen in the other drawings, are second to none.
There's also sketches of different lock mechanisms, but he scratched out most of them, clearly in frustration. There's quite a bit energetic scratching in it.
And can I take a closer look at the ones he did not scratch out?
He scratched them all out.
Okay.
Clearly wasn't satisfied with anything.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna head back downstairs. I'm going to go to I'm heading to the study. I'm gonna and I'll leave with you.
Okay. Anything that you guys want to wrap up here in the master bedroom?
Find anything good?
I mean, the haberdashery stuff looks, there's stuff similar to maybe the pocket that we saw, and locks that he was trying to build and that he didn't like any of them. I guess they were too good in a way, if you're trying to escape, maybe.
Yeah.
I understand some of the other stuff if we're correct in our thinking, but what the hell's up with the dining room? And was he drunk when it happened? Is that why it went wrong? Is it something to do with alcohol?
We don't even know what we're thinking happened yet. It's just
I know.
It's
need more. I wonder.
Maybe if we check all of the magic stuff in the basement. I imagine if it was something that went wrong with the trick, it would be with the other magic stuff.
It's really unclear when he kind of gave it up, if you know what I mean. Like if something went wrong with a trick and you killed your lover, you would stop probably straight away. So if we could find a date when he stopped doing magic, then maybe we would figure out when something maybe happened, and then we could, I don't know. Yeah, let's go to the basement.
Cool.
Okay. You go down to the basement. I don't know if you meet Angus en route. If so, bring yourself back, Alan. You're down in the basement, and the previous description still applies.
Oh wow, there is a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, right.
Wait, isn't there a torch thing on this phone?
Oh, I got you. Don't worry.
Wow. Oh God, which is the blood thing? Where's the blood thing? I don't really want to.
I point to the giant saw blade.
Can I kind of creep closer to it? Try and look?
Yeah, you don't know if you're relieved or disappointed. The thing that Todd didn't want to get close to is quite clearly some form of grease paint. It's dried, it's caked on. You think it might have been special effects. It's not blood.
It's gross, right? Don't touch it though.
it's too red. That's not blood. Blood doesn't dry really red like this. This is. I'm gonna rub it with my finger.
No.
Yeah, it flakes off. It's clearly some sort of makeup.
It's pretend. It's for effect.
Oh.
You freaked me out, man. It's for effect. They do that so that it.
If anything, that's a relief, right? Because now we know nobody got cut in half with the sword.
Also, if you would actually cut your lover in half, would you leave the evidence right there for years and years and years and years? No. Especially if you were sorry about it. Oh, you freaked me out.
Look, there's plenty of other cool stuff down here.
Okay, but
remember, over to the two cases.
Magic stuff is really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So we need to be careful.
I feel like I know what I'm doing.
You touch something wrong and some fake knife comes. I don't know.
Yo, they wouldn't use real knives. They'd be like fake film knives.
Some things are real so that they can do the whole look. I cut a carrot and then look, my finger's not cut. I hate those. They will freak me out.
It's just special effects.
Okay.
Come on, we should take a look, Clara.
Yeah, I'm looking. Are you holding light and I'm digging?
Yeah. And I'm looking in the other box as I'm holding the light between us. Just trying to find anything else, any kind of journals or whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking for something with dates on, or just anything that sort of like to try and home in on a show. When was the date? If you could remind me, when was the date, if we had it, on the playbill?
3rd of August, 1927.
Oh yeah, I wrote it down. I actually wrote it down. Okay, 3rd of August, 1927.
I thought I did.
It's strange, in the torchlight that Todd's holding up, the big glass panels almost ripple as if there's water behind them.
As in, there's a big, almost thing that looks like it might be a tank.
Oh, there's 4 large glass panels, thick glass panels.
But in a tank shape, or just like panels like that?
No, just four large rectangular panels. You're not quite sure how they got them down here. These are big, and they're just up against one wall.
But bring that light over here. Look, come over here.
Yeah, okay.
These windowy things look like maybe they're fake water things. Like, shine the light, and I'm gonna go over, things. As in like a sort of like fake. Like she's wondering whether it's a sort of almost a tiny tank, if you know what I mean. With you know how you get those toys
where
or whatever.
The water is inside the glass.
Yeah, like a fake
you look
glass.
At it, this is not the case. It is thick. It's thick glass. And now that you're looking closer at it, it was just your imagination. There's no water. It was just clearly how the light was just playing against the glass and.
Okay.
So,
it looked kind of watery, but does it look like these would slot together into a kind of tank system sort of thing?
Yeah.
Like one of those escape tanks.
There's rusted metal objects that's on the floor, and now you look at them. They're L sections, and you're pretty sure the L sections and the big plates all get put together to make up a tank. And the inside of the L sections seem to have some sort of rubber, and you're pretty sure that once it's all together, that would make a stand-up tank, probably around about 11 foot tall by about 5 foot wide in every direction.
These are big. How did they get these down here? These I think these go together to make one of those, those Houdini type tanks that you put water in. I thought there was water in them. I thought it was faked, but I think that was just the light. The light bounced off them weird, but
you can see at the other end now that you're asking that question that there's some sort of coal chute. They didn't come from the inside of the house. They came from the outside.
Oh, I think there's a way from the outside. Those stairs, that would be hard. Okay, so definitely a tank trick. Maybe that case. This is fascinating. I mean, we're not doing much ghost stuff at the moment, but this is a cool house. Why are they not doing more? They should, this story is really interesting. He knew Houdini. He knew Houdini.
I got thanked by Houdini. That's like, whoa. How good you have to be to get that? That's
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, it looks like we're just finding lots of cool magic stuff and no cool ghost stuff.
Well, I mean, there's been some weird stuff, to be honest, but, you know,
Agreed.
Angus wouldn't believe any of that, so.
Also agreed.
Speaking of Angus, where are you at the moment? Mute as well.
I was headed to study, and that's where I am at the moment.
Okay. When you get into the study, what are you looking at?
I want to go to the desk. I want to check the drawers of the desk if I've missed any, and particularly looking for any hidden compartments.
Okay. Before you get to the desk, there is a piece of paper in the middle of the desk, and written on there in pencil, and you can see the pencil is on to one side. It says "so weak," and clearly, as the K in "weak" was being drawn, the pencil was dropped.
This looks like it's. It's when I left, I'd left a stack of the papers on the middle of the table. Where's that stack of papers now?
A stack of papers is still in the middle of the table. This piece of paper was placed on top.
On top of it. Okay.
Yes. You can see it's the letterhead paper.
Does it look like a fresh piece of paper, or is it crumpled like the rest of them?
It's a fresh piece of paper. You can see that it was pulled over from the letterhead paper on the left-hand side of the desk, and the pencil was taken from the pot, also to the left.
Interesting.
At this point, the carriage clock on the mantelpiece just falls off, and you see it straight. You can. It's almost like a sixth sense. You look up, and the carriage clock just falls off the mantelpiece. It's a heavy bloody thing. It's heavy bronze thing. This is actually based on a clock that my grandfather once owned, and it slams on the floor. Nasty, kind of really heavy sound, and there seems to be a smear on the mirror that's above the mantelpiece.
A smear on the mirror.
Yeah, just like somebody's gone up and put their greasy mitts on it.
Okay, I'll pick the carriage clock up again and look at it. Is it ticking? Is it operating?
No, set at midnight.
Set at midnight. Okay. I'll look at the smear close up. Does it look like is there moisture involved? Does it look it's fresh at all?
Yeah, it looks fairly fresh. Looks like someone's just done it.
Interesting. Photographs of those things.
Sure.
I shall take. But I will go to the desk and I will check the drawers and I will look for secret compartments.
Sure. You find the usual things that you'd expect to find. And now that you're looking for secret compartments on desks are only secret if you're not looking for them. You pop it, and inside is an array of magnets. You can see rare earth magnets, the really heavy ones, and those little blocks that you can get where you put them near each other and they just bam together. There are ring magnets, there are bar magnets, there are horseshoe magnets, all sorts of types of magnets. There's the flexible magnets that you can get as well, and it's there's one in particular, flexible magnet, that's got little holes all the way along, almost as if you could stitch it.
Oh, fascinating. There's nothing in there that is diaries, historical, nothing like that. That's what I'm looking for. I'll note the magnets, photographs of them. Typical for a quite an ingenious character, this guy. Right, I shall go back out, grab another slice of pizza, and go and find the others.
Okay, Todd and Kate. Todd and Clara. I will get it by the end.
You do that every time in the other thing as well. You never call me Cora. Did you hear that? Did something else just fall? Is he okay?
Something heavy.
Yeah, we should check that out, I guess. I mean, stuff be moving all up and down this house.
Are you okay?
Smash! Window pane. Ground floor.
Right.
So upstairs from
Yeah,
that.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
I'm all
okay.
over that. Mhm.
Something's not okay. Running up the stairs.
Where would you like to check?
Wherever the sound sounded like it was coming from.
Either the kitchen or the living room. You're not sure.
Well, I'm going to the kitchen because I think I heard it come from there.
I'm gonna
Okay.
check the living room.
Sure. Angus, when you get into the kitchen, you take one look at the sink and start having a panic attack. The door slams behind you, and you start feeling like you will do anything to get this door open, even breaking the damn thing down.
Start pounding on it.
Immediately change course and run towards
Yeah.
the sound of that banging.
Yep.
Angus?
Anything you do, Angus, you're there. You're struggling with the handle. You can't get it open. But Todd, Todd or Clara, if you try, do you want to try the door?
Yes.
Yeah. It opens freely for you. You open it, it flies open, and Angus is there behind it. Angus, as soon as the door opens, you feel fine again, as if nothing had happened.
Oh,
You're right there, big man.
What
like
happened?
a piece of pizza must have gone down the wrong way. Oh.
You notice that none of the windows in the kitchen have been broken. You're in the wrong room. This just occurs to you. Strange.
You
I'm
should
not gonna touch
come
any
out,
more of
come
that.
out.
I'm not hungry anymore. Oh.
Okay, I don't like this. I don't like this.
I'm
Wait,
gonna
wait,
go
where's the
check-
window? Which window was it?
I
Some
don't know.
window
I'm gonna
broke.
check one of the other rooms, so I'm gonna head over to the living room.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit down on the bottom step for a bit and just catch
I'm
my breath.
gonna stay with Angus actually.
Mm.
Okay. So Todd, only you go into the living room, and the blackboard that was previously mentioned is next to a broken pane in the conservatory, because the conservatory and living room, as I said, are one space. And chalked onto the blackboard is "Please help her, so weak." And there seems to be a box, like a rectangle, and inside the rectangle is a circle and a triangle. So, box, circle, triangle.
You all want to come in here real quick? I think this is important.
What? Oh God! I try and help Angus up.
There's a message.
Right, okay, can you just help me just keep
yeah.
my balance a bit?
Come on, come on. What
There's
is
a piece
it?
of
What
chalk
is
on the
it?
floor.
I'm not next to the blackboard or anything, but I'm pointing at it, and I'm like, that's the source of the noise, and I didn't write that.
So weak.
And
That wasn't
does
there when
the
we
symbol-
photographed it earlier.
Please help her, so weak.
so weak.
All of the clocks
Somebody-
start striking midnight.
What the?
Somebody wrote that in the study. Somebody has been in here, wrote a message on the.
I mean,
Understand.
okay, but
I tried to
someone
help her
needs
and I-
help.
Who?
Oh, I don't
What
wanna
is that
look at
sound?
that.
Angus, you know, you've noted down the sounds. You know this is the sound of somebody walking up the stairs
I'm getting
to
chills.
from the ground floor to the first floor.
Somebody else is in this house. They've been writing notes. They're just playing with us.
Okay, we should check that out. Something's going on.
I'm freaking out. I'm
This is what we're
freaking
here
out.
to do,
This
right?
is what we're here to do. Yeah. I bring up my
What's
app.
that? That's,
They
it
go
what
coming-
is
across the
that?
landing.
Right,
you know
I'm
it's a
go- I'm-
landing noise.
I'm getting up the stairs to the landing.
Yeah, going.
Okay.
Not
following.
particularly quickly because I'm a weekend, but I'm getting up there as soon as I can.
The rest of you going?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. As you get up there, you can see the floorboards creaking. You can see the depressions in the floorboards as if somebody's walking along them.
Angus, do you see this? Do you see this?
I am going straight to where the floorboards are creaking. I'm going to stand there.
Okay. You get a whiff of perfume, beautiful, alluring. You almost feel like you're standing next to somebody, and you get an instinct that it's female. And she, we'll say she has stopped all of a sudden and they're kind of creaking in place. And they seem to be going now into the master bedroom.
I'll go into the master bedroom.
The creaks seem to be going towards the armoire, and suddenly the armoire opens up, and the dress is just swaying.
Is my app showing any heat signatures?
You can
this
see
is hardly holding
fuzzy,
it steady. This is trying.
You can see two fuzzy figures in your app. One of them is touching the dress, and the second one seems to be gesturing in their direction, almost like imploring them to do something or not do something. And suddenly the creaks. You can see that the one figure kind of does something, almost like she's putting on the dress, but the dress is still there in the armoire, and you can see the
dragging Todd closer so that he can see. I'm like,
yeah, you can see this. You can see both figures. You can see the one figure that was imploring with the figure that looked like they were trying to put on the dress, but the dress is still there, is now is still imploring, and you notice suddenly, as if tripping over, falls to the floor and struggles to push themselves back up. It's still a very blurry figure. It's pushing themselves to get back up, falters, and pushes themselves back up again. And the creaking starts going back towards the main landing and back towards you, to the point where you can see the figure coming right towards you.
I'm back against the wall, but also going, Jenny, we're here to help you.
You feel excited, elated, loved. You can feel the bright light on the back of your neck from the stage lights. You can feel at the moment, the more that you try to get this empathy with her, you can feel the tightness of the corset. My God! And it's pushing bits of you in places you don't want them to be, and you can feel the kind of tickling of the sequiny feathers against your legs as you're strutting along and stopping to pose and gesture in a direction you're not quite sure, as the creaking goes past you. And the other figure, looking through your phone, starts going in the direction of the attic, and then watches as the female figure turns left and goes back down the stairs, and the goes as it's going down the stairs. You can see that holding on to the banister.
Oh no, we're losing our narrator. Simon, come back to us. Can't hear you, Sean.
Some sort of ghost in the machine, I think.
Yeah, his crap top has done its thing. No, we're right at the end of the story. Come back to us.
This whole time, I'm just under my breath chanting square, circle, triangle, just trying to piece together whatever's happening on the blackboard. And like there's a puzzle I'm trying to figure out, and I just don't feel I have the pieces.
And I'm repeating magnets. This man was a genius with magnets.
Okay, you're back, Simon. Are you back properly? Sound?
I'm back. Yep.
Yay.
Man, did that come at a?
I know. We were like, no, it's the end of the story, and like, oh my gosh, my heart.
You can see as the figure that was imploring, the weakened figure, is dragging himself along using the banister. But she's ahead of him. He can't keep up with her, and she's walking down the stairs. You get just that, almost as if the one figure expected to go up to the attic, but was surprised when she went down to the ground floor. And you can see that he's gesturing frantically at you now. He can't hold himself up much, and he's there. He's pointing at the master bedroom and pointing downstairs at the same time. And he's
I run and
on
get
his
the dress. I run and get the dress.
Begging you. As she gets to the bottom of the stairs, she's turning round the corner. She's going on the lower landing, and she's going towards the dining room.
I run and get the dress.
I'm in the master bedroom. I hand you the dress because I've got it in my hand.
Can we, I don't know what we're doing, but she's going to the dining room, and he doesn't want us. She doesn't want her to. And it's something about that bottle.
Let's go.
Maybe she poisons herself. I don't know. I start to run down the stairs past the figure. Do I see him without the phone? Do we sort of see?
You can't see him without the phone, but you do notice one thing. He's fading.
Okay. He's disappearing. I can't see him much anymore, but I don't know what we needed to do. What do we do? Smash the bottle? If I go in there?
Let's get to the... Well, let's
just go and find out. Yeah.
I'm running down the stairs as I'm kind of saying it.
Okay.
I'm going to grab my camera on the way as well, so we have two eyes on this.
Trying to see where she is. And I'm trying to get in front of her and run into the dining room.
She is getting into the box.
Which box? Oh, the suitcase. The suitcase?
No. The big traveling case. She goes into she steps into the box and she does a pose. Puts her hands neatly across her across her dress.
What can we possibly do?
And folds herself down into the box. And as you see that, the box closes.
I'll go and open the box.
You tug and tug, and the box is just closed. The latch is shut, and pulling and pulling and pulling. And as that happens, you can start hearing this rushing in all of your ears, and you can hear this. And somewhere in the house, you hear, "No, no!" It's a woman's voice, strangely.
Well, I've got tools. I'm going to open this box with whatever I've got. I've got hammers.
Smacking at the box, smacking at it, trying to get it open. But for some reason, it's just resisting your tools. They're bouncing off the damn thing. Almost strangely, it's like as you're swinging it, you're kind of weakening as you get to the box, and the box just isn't opening. Not for you, not for anybody. You're just. They're watching it as this box starts. It kicks. Just boomf. Boomf. Boom, boom, boomf.
That voice we heard from outside of this room in somewhere else in the house. We heard a female voice.
Seems like an elderly or middle-aged woman screamed no. Now you can hear more kind of a susurrus in the back of your head, like lots of people gasping or shouting. You're holding the dress, and the dress just starts to thrash in your hands.
What do we do? What can we possibly do?
The left part of the cleavage where the pocket is going frantically. It's lashing backwards and forwards, and suddenly there's this rip on the pocket.
No kidding.
And the dress falls to the floor, and so do you. All three of you fall unconscious. The dream that you have will probably haunt you for the rest of your lives. As you suddenly walk onto the stage, you look down at a beautiful and dapper suit, clearly 1920s in its design. The words that you're speaking come out almost like they're through glass, kind of wah-wah sounds. But you can see, even though the lights are blinding, that this giant theatre in front of you is packed to the gills, full of people who admire you, who are going to raise you to stardom. You look across to the other side of the stage and see your beautiful wife, Loredana Weiss, also known by her stage name, the Jenny Wren. She gives you the wink to say that everything is ready, and starts to gesture just like you. You start to give this explanation, and with a flourish, you pull a lever, and this huge curtain falls to the floor, revealing this tank. Above the tank is a traveling case. As the act goes on, Jenny climbs up the ladder, gets into the case, folds her hands over her chest, patting, so only you can see, the left-hand side, and gets into the case. You walk up the other ladder, close the case, and lock it. You check that all of the release mechanisms are correct, and get down to the bottom of the tank. With a flourish, you pull the lever, and the trunk goes crashing into the water. Everybody gasps, and you start playing on their fears, riling them up, making them feel that these few seconds, because that's all the trick takes, is going to feel like a lifetime for those who are watching. The clock, the watch that you have that so expertly ticks away the time with vibrations on your wrist, is telling you that you're getting to the flourish point. Your darling wife has a similar device that she carries on a garter on her leg, and she knows that both of these are perfectly attuned. You get prepared, and with a flourish, you turn in that direction, expecting, as in all of your practices, for the chest to open, and in a flurry of bubbles, your beautiful Jenny Wren to ascend to safety. The vibration goes off at your wrist, and a sickening feeling in your stomach suddenly fills you with panic. You can see that the chest is thrashing about. You rush towards the tank and start to slam your hand against the glass. You pick up all the various props as the entire crowd starts to scream and shout. Some of them are shouting sham, some of them are shouting shame, some of them are shouting, get her out. It takes you and 3 other stagehands to break the glass. Unfortunately, by the time you open the chest, she suffocates. The oxygen inside, only enough for the trick itself. When you wake up the next morning, you feel a sense of failure, but also you're certain in one knowledge. Bradley Weiss used all of his energy in the afterlife to attempt this one final rescue of his Jenny Wren. You instinctively know that both Jenny Wren and Bradley Weiss will never be able to affect this plane of existence ever again. And that is where we end our story.
Yay! I don't
Thank you.
say.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you. Thank you.
to all of you.
Thank you.
I've told this story using World of Darkness, using another system with tarot cards, and now finally systemless. And sometimes people have figured it out and saved Jenny Wren. In other cases, they haven't. And
She
either
died
way-
long ago. We can never save her.
either way, it's always a good journey, whether success or failure. It's always a good journey. And thank you very much for really embracing that journey today. As I say, I've told this story many times, and now putting this to bed, I feel that this is a perfect telling of the story. So thank you very much for all of that, and thank you for embracing the nature of the story and all the bits in between.
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah,
This was an
Exciting.
experiment. This was an experiment, guys, and it feels like a success. A lot of this, whether it was, I will now use your real names, whether it was Alan denying what he was seeing in front of him whether it was Todd embracing it only in the coolness of it, and then Kate / Clara embracing it wholeheartedly. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the level at which you believed was the level at which they were able to contact you and speak to you.
Yeah,
so
that was
Clara was super sensitive. Sean could be manipulated, and Angus only right at the end, in the total desperation, using as much power as Bradley could draw together, did he manage to get Angus and shake him and say, "This is real, man." So
yeah,
I love the scaling.
I kind of saw that was happening about halfway through. That yeah, it was very much. Yeah.
So thank you first
Great
to our performers.
Yeah.
Thank you to our community who's here as well. And I'm gonna call a few of you out because you've been in the chat. Aura, Jordan, Minion, Ed, Sean's already here.
Seldom.
Thanked him already. Seldom is Ed.
Thank
you very, very much for joining us, and thank you for the new people who joined us.
I don't get thanks.
You don't get a thanks. You're always here.
Thank you.
Thank you to Deadpool Manful for your subscription.
That was a lovely little surprise. It went bling, and I was like, what?
And Aura for the bits as well. Thank you so much. I'm buzzed.
That was great.
I actually have the second one written already. You know me. I'm high energy apparently. As far as I'm concerned, I'm happy to do more. And I think the format was perfect. I don't think I would change anything about this. And so when I'm ready, I'll certainly contact you guys again if you're interested in going further into the supernatural using this format, either with the same characters or different characters, and we'll see what happens then.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're able to help the neighborhood ghost.
Nice
Indeed.
to help some ghost.
I was like, how do you help a ghost? They're a ghost, and yet, Clara should be the one person who should know.
This is the point where I asked, just before I say goodbye to everybody, would you like the spoilers? Because it's the last time I told that I'm going to tell it, so I'm happy to spoiler the whole damn thing.
I don't know.
I want to move on to new things.
I think if you're going to... You go for it.
Warn people. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say...
I definitely... You say it. You say it, Kate.
No, well, because I was going to say, if you're going to do a sequel, I feel like it's nice to not necessarily know at this point. I don't know. Are you just going to tell us how we could have done it? Otherwise, you could do a Q&A type thing, after the next one as to what people's theories were and stuff.
I'll not say anything.
I'm curious.
There are people out there who know, because obviously there are lots of people who've gone out there, but I will ask instead your theories, because that's not a problem. I will confirm or deny anything. What do you think you should have done?
I nearly smashed the bottle at one point, but then it felt irrelevant.
The bottle's more of a signal.
Yeah,
there were 2 rooms I think we didn't go into.
Yeah.
The bathroom we did not go into.
And the utility room.
Yeah, the utility room we did not go into. So there may well have been additional clues in there. I think every room was useful in its own way. There were 2 rooms we did not explore. So
what was in the attic? You went to the attic, didn't you, Angus?
Attic contained a whole bunch of normal everyday objects and that case. So that's why Jenny diverted, because I moved the case.
Yeah.
Yes,
which is
that's
real
exactly
fun.
it. Yep. So ordinarily in the ending, this isn't a spoiler, but ordinarily in the ending, she will go upstairs into the attic and then get into the case. Yes. Yeah. You got quite a lot done. There was a point in the telling that I was there saying, damn, he's gonna get this. I was there thinking, I'm gonna have nothing to use for the last hour of this. I was like, they're just gonna nail it and that's it, gone. So yeah. Anyway, thank you.
The thing falling down.
down.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
So I honestly thought she had been buried, or was
same sequel that I played, or is it a different one?
No, it's a completely different one. So yeah, they're different set of canon. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So my assumption was that she had been buried or sequestered somewhere in the house. And that our aim was to find the body. That was what I thought we were being.
Good theory. Yeah.
There was the plink plink down the stairs behind Todd that he never saw. Was that a key or something?
It was something. Yeah.
Yeah. See, now I want to know, and I don't want to know.
The only thing, and
I would just say, just don't look at chat. Just don't look at chat.
Well, I saw at one point, I think it was Corinne in chat going, "It's right in front of you." And I'm like,
yeah, I'll be telling Corinne off about that. It's like, please don't give the spoiler to the whole bloody story.
I also, it didn't help. I was like, I don't know what's in front of me. What's in front of me? The box is in front of me. This isn't helping. The pizza.
Yeah,
Grab
we're
the
very
pizza.
focused on the box.
Yeah.
What's in the
the pizza was the key to the whole thing. I mean,
Of course.
Yeah.
That's our own personal twist.
Is.
Yeah, if you'd given her some pizza, she would be too big. She would have been too big to get into the dress.
Yeah.
And then
It's the perfect answer because it comes in a box, it's a circle, and you make it into triangles. It's right there the whole time.
Oh my gosh, that's true. What was the whole circle triangle thing about? I missed that. I didn't think it was there.
And we don't want to give any spoilers, so there we go.
It's gonna bug me till I die.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things that you got, and it definitely added to the drama this time around. And again, this isn't a spoiler because it's something you saw, was in the very first telling of it. I was like, how do I put that urgency in? What with the approach to midnight? And it was only after a couple of tellings of it I got it so that Bradley was getting weaker and weaker. And basically, almost like poltergeists have a certain amount of energy that they build up and can use. And he was willing to go on effectively a suicide mission using every part of his current existence to get you to save Jenny Wren.
So one of the things that I was trying to do to hopefully speed things up was to split up and look into rooms at the same time. But because of the real-time nature of this, that actually slowed things down.
Unfortunately, it's one of the challenges that you'll see, Alan, with I mean, you guys come from an improv background. Kate is improv and role play. Sean is improv and role play.
We all improv together. I can't point the right way. There we go.
We all role play together.
We role play together too, actually.
So,
no, we're part of the same home game. We're all part of the same home. I just brought all my buddies. That's what happened, Simon.
And when you're a DM, and Sean will definitely go for this because he's a forever DM like me, is that if you're doing a one shot in particular, which is why some of our one shots have turned into 3 or 4 shots, is trying to get all the story in 3 hours, because 3 hours we said during the break, 3 hour improv, man, that's a long time. I'm like, oh my god, it's only 3 hours. You know, for me, it's the other way around. I'm like, how do I get it all in? Because I'm going to say the story's left, and they're going to go right, and they're going to go in and make pizza, and they're going to go and speak to the mad neighbor next door, and they're going to go and talk for 2 hours about the neighbor's dog, and how the hell am I going to get all this done at the same time? So things like the clocks being smashed and things like that was thankfully in narrative, where Bradley was like, hurry the fuck up. This is urgent. So I was able to spin it into that. And put that kind of, that pressure on, which definitely works for the drama as well. So thank you everybody for being part of this experiment. There will be more. We will continue doing this. And the next one is in a newspaper of all places. So I will give that only. And you can play the same characters, different characters. If you want to have a continuation canon you discuss amongst yourselves, that's up to you, not up to me. I will only be giving the contracts, basically, for you and dealing with that part of it all. The rest of it is down to you. So for everybody else, there's normally where I'd say it's 11 o'clock, but it is now 12 midnight, and it's a school night, so I'm going to bed. But if you enjoyed our particular brand of chaos, please check out our Discord link below, and follow us for our other broadcasts. Deadpool Manful, if you are still watching, join us in the Discord. One of the bonuses that you get as a subscriber is that you get to vote for the subscriber twist to our Friday night game, The Benefactor. and our Tuesday night game, which is Star Wars Legends of the Sprawl. There will also potentially be something that you can throw into these events. I think that's everything. Our next broadcast is Tuesday, 8 p.m. UK time, where Ed, Corinne, Paul, and Felicia will be playing Star Wars Legends of the Sprawl, continuing with their shopping spree before going off and dealing with something from Victoria's warrior cast. We will see you then. Good night.